Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto Saiyan harem Dragon Ball. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Seiryu the Azure Dragon and link in the description and support writer. Let's start the video. Prologue. Planet Vegeta. King Vegeta, we have a serious problem. A scientist with a tail wrapped around his waist said, barging in frantically knocking the door down as the king himself stood up. Showing he also had a tail wrapped around his waist as well, seeing the lead scientist and his best friend Minato come running in before bowing. Minato, how many times must I say it, my friends need not bow in my presence, with a slight pout. Though a small smile crossed his face when he saw his friends chuckle. Sorry Vegeta, I love seeing the look on your face, Minato said laughing. Well, the king joined in before they got serious. Now why are you in such a panic? It must be something big for you to knock the door down, he said pointing to said door. That was barely hanging off its hinges before it fell off completely, causing Minato to rub his head sheepishly. Sorry, but there is a giant comet headed our way and a few of our people are having problems using their powers, Minato said, causing Vegeta to look at him in shock before he followed Minato to his lab. All the while remembering a story his mother once told him as a child about a comet with the power to shut down Kai. Flashback. Vegeta, there is something I need to tell you, a story even more so than the legendary Super Saiyan, the woman said, confusing the young boy. There is a story more amazing than the legendary Super Saiyan? Vegeta said in awe. Yes, but this story is more of a story of destruction than the Saiyan of legend. It was said that there was a comet which was dubbed the Achilles Comet, Vegeta's mother said as she began the story. Long ago, about 10,000 years or so. Our original home planet Sadala was brought to the brink of destruction by a comet which was said to make all those who used the power of Kai useless, Vegeta's mother said, shocking him. However, upon destruction came a hero. It was said he was able to slow the comet down by transforming into a great ape. Long enough for most of our people to escape. However, the form he took was no mere ape. It was said our savior had pure golden fur, the woman said, causing the future king to gasp in awe. But then frowned when he saw his mother's face. He didn't make it, did he? Vegeta asked as his mother shook her head. No, he lived only long enough to give our people enough time to escape. Before the comet collided with the planet, killing those that could not escape in time, including him, Vegeta's mother said. Wow, so what happened to the comet after it destroyed the planet? Vegeta asked. It was said the comet vanished after the destruction it caused across space. No one has seen it since, the woman said, getting a smile from Vegeta. Flashback end. So the story mother told me was no mere story after all, Vegeta thought with a frown. Knowing his people were in serious trouble. Lab. Soon Minato and Vegeta arrived at the lab where a picture of the comet was seen. Impossible, it is at least 60 miles, that's big enough to destroy the planet at least 3 times over, Vegeta said in shock, getting a sad nod from Minato. Before the door to the lab was then kicked open. Unfortunately, 2 scientists were in the crossfire of the flying door and were knocked out cold with swirls in their eyes. Minato, what's this I hear about a comet coming to destroy the planet? A furious red Saiyan woman shouted with her hair in the form of 9 tails. Scaring everyone in the room including a slightly scared king. Now Kushina, everything is going to be fine, Minato said, trying to hide his fear of this woman. What do you mean everything will be fine? There is a comet coming to destroy us and all you can say everything is going to be fine. Kushina shouted, stomping up to Minato with her long red hair flickering between red and gold. Relax sweetheart, everything is okay. There is still time to send Naruto away before the comet hits. That way at least one of our race survives and we are not completely extinct, Minato said until Vegeta spoke up. Actually Minato, a Saiyan named Nappa, my son Vegeta, your cousin and Bardock's oldest, are off planet selling another planet, the king said, causing Minato to frown at the mention of selling a planet. Well, their race were planet brokers, it didn't mean he liked the fact of killing unless needed, something Vegeta noted. Minato, I understand you don't like how our race does business. But remember, we are a proud warrior race. Most of us are honorable while others are not, Vegeta said, getting a frown but a nod from Kushina and Minato before they heard a voice. Mom, Dad, I can't use my powers, a young 10-year-old boy called out walking into the lab, showing he had red spiky hair, blue eyes, and a gold tail wrapped around his waist. Followed by a black-haired woman in Saiyan armor with pink bottoms with a brown tail wrapped around her waist as well and looked to be 18 years of age. Oh hi there Uncle Spikehead, the young boy said, sending the king crashing to the ground with his leg twitching and his parents to the floor laughing up a storm. Before he was gently smacked on the head by the female Saiyan beside him. Now Naruto, what did I tell you about respect? The woman asked, trying hard to keep from smirking. Aw, but Fasha-chan, Uncle Vegeta knows I love him, don't you uncle? Naruto asked with a smile. Missing the blush Fasha had at the chan suffix Naruto put at the end of her name. Before the king brought his nephew into a hug. But of course I do nephew, and the reason you can't use your powers is because of this, Vegeta said, showing him a comet that was just minutes away from killing them all. I would say sadly we only have about 30 minutes to evacuate as much of us as possible. Maybe 20 due to the velocity of the comet, Naruto said, causing the others to have grim smiles on their faces. There are currently 2 space pods here. One for Naruto and one for Fasha, Minato said in a sad voice, making the others frown. But if we leave now you, Mom, and Uncle Vegeta can come with us, Naruto said desperately, getting a slow head shake from his mom. I'm afraid we wouldn't make it son, the space bridge is 35 minutes away. We would never make it in time, Kushina said, trying hard not to cry. Even the mighty king himself was trying not to shed tears. Then I'll stay too. Naruto shouted, running to his parents and hugging them. Well, they wrapped their arms around him. No Naruto, you have to leave. You are the last of our race along with 3 others. For if Bardock gets his son Kakarot in a pod in time, Minato said he didn't want to send his son away either. But they didn't have a choice as they looked at Fasha, who had a sad smile as she led Naruto to his pod. While Naruto looked at his parents one last time. With Bardock. I don't like this at all, Bardock, a woman said. She had short black hair sort of spiked with blue Saiyan armor, a device on her left eye with a pink lens, and a tail that was loosely behind her. This was Jain, mother to Kakarot and Raditz and wife to the Saiyan Bardock. I know you don't, Jain. I don't like it either, but with the comet of legend upon us. We have no choice but to send our infant son away so at least he survives. I know Kushina and Minato are sending their son Naruto away, as well as my friend Fasha, a man with brown Saiyan armor, black pants, and the same device Jain wore. Except the lens was green. This was Bardock. Father to Kakarot and Raditz. Husband to Jain. But we don't even know that the planet he will land on will be safe for him, Jain said, while Bardock typed in coordinates into the ship's computer. That's why I am sending it to Earth where there are very few threats to him until he grows, Bardock said with a small smile before looking at his son. Then hitting a record button on the ship to record for him a final message. Kakarot, my name is Bardock, I am your father, now listen up son. Your mother and I sent you to a planet called Earth because a giant comet is coming to destroy us all. There was not enough time for us to join you, which is why you are here by yourself. I am truly sorry my son, but I want you to live on. You have the blood of a proud warrior race called the Saiyans. This is my message to you. Live, Bardock said before he let his wife have her say. Kakarot, my name is Jain, I am your mother. My message is pretty much the same as your father's. Live, have a good life, make friends, have a family, protect them at any cost. Oh, and one more thing your father probably forgot to tell you. Watch out for the one known as Frieza, he is a tyrant. Please Kakarot, do not fight him until you have become the Super Saiyan of legend, Jain said as she ended the message with tears in her eyes as she closed the pod and launched. Just as the comet could be seen. With Minato, Kushina, and Vegeta. At the same time, Jain and Bardock launched their son into space. Minato and Kushina launched their son as well as Fasha. Before the planet gained an eerie red hue to it as the comet drew ever closer and the planet exploded, sending debris everywhere. Sending the pod Kakarot was sleeping in to shoot faster toward its destination. Computer, please show me Planet Vegeta's final moments, Naruto said sadly before the computer showed him a visual of Planet Vegeta. Goodbye, mother, father. I'll never forget you, Naruto said, which made Fasha's heart break hearing Naruto's pained voice just before the comet collided with the planet. Unfortunately, the explosion knocked their pods off course. Fasha-chan, what hit us? Naruto asked as he was trying to remain seated, but the bumpy ride was making that hard to do. It was the explosion, Naruto-kun. The comet must have impacted it. We are off course, Fasha said to Naruto with another blush. What? You mean we are not headed to the same planet Kakarot is headed to? Naruto asked in shock and worry for the newborn. That is exactly what I am saying, Naruto-kun, Fasha said. She was also worried about her friend's son. Computer, which planet are we heading for at our current course? Naruto asked as the computer calculated. At the same time, his companion listened in as well. Due to the current course. We are heading for the planet Elementia. Estimated time of arrival is 1 year, the computer said as Naruto sighed. Better get comfy, Fasha-chan, it is going to be a long ride, Naruto said while Fasha smiled, although Naruto could not see it. It's okay, Naruto-kun. We have nothing but time now, Fasha said before she sat back with her arms folded and closed her eyes. With Naruto doing the same, both wondering what kind of people they would meet when they got there, Fasha looked out her pod's window and greatly widened her eyes. Naruto-kun, I think we have a problem, Fasha said, seeing a swirling vortex straight ahead, causing Naruto to pale greatly. Shit, if that is what I think it is. Then I don't know if we are even going to make it to the planet, Naruto said before the ships entered the vortex and vanished. With Kakarot. Meanwhile, the young Saiyan baby now known as Kakarot slept peacefully in his pod. As his ship flew peacefully without a care in the world towards its destination unhindered by the explosion of the passenger's home planet and unaware that due to the explosion, he would be the only Saiyan there at least for a while. Unknown location. Vegeta, have you heard? Rumor has it that planet Vegeta was destroyed by a deadly comet that is capable of shutting down Kai, a man with long black somewhat spiky hair, brown Saiyan armor, a tail wrapped around his waist, and a device over his right eye with a green lens said. This was Raditz. Firstborn to the now late Giant and Bardock and older brother to Kakarot. I did Raditz, so the destructive legend is true then. Here I always thought it was a bedtime story to scare people, Vegeta said with a frown. He was wearing blue Saiyan armor with shoulder pads and the same device Raditz was wearing on his face. But this one had a red lens to it. This was Vegeta. Son of the now late King Vegeta. Hey Raditz, do you think your parents made it? A big muscular man asked with brown Saiyan armor and a device on his face, as well as a blue lens. This was Nappa. I sure hope so, Nappa. Or at least had time to get my newborn brother Kakarot off the planet, Raditz said with a frown. Cheer up Raditz, once we are finished with our assignments. We can track down the planet your brother was sent to, Vegeta said, making Raditz smile a bit. Thanks, Vegeta, and hey, maybe Naruto is with him. Won't they be surprised to find out they are not alone and show him we took his words to heart, Raditz said with a grin, getting one from Vegeta and a scoff from Nappa. Aw, come on Raditz, don't tell me you're siding with that brat Naruto on how we do things now too, Nappa said with a sneer, only to be blasted off his ass by Vegeta with a scowl on his face. Mind your tone, Nappa, Naruto may frown upon what we do, but he is still family, and I won't tolerate anyone who disrespects him, Vegeta said, losing his composure when Naruto was spoken about in such a disrespectful manner. Well, Nappa grumbled he always hated that brat's views on life. Why Vegeta, don't tell me our favorite pacifist had such a positive effect on you as well, Raditz said with a smirk, getting one in return. Let's just say Naruto gave me a reason to spare those who are worth sparing. Instead of being a cold-blooded killer, as well as to no longer look down on people just because they are weak, Vegeta said, recalling his cousin's words. Flashback. Vegeta, can I ask you why you fight? Naruto asked, causing Vegeta to respond almost instantly. For the honor and glory of the Saiyan race, for we are the strongest and the strong dominate the weak, Vegeta said proudly, getting a frown from Naruto which Vegeta saw. Is that truly the only reason you fight though? To fight and destroy those weaker than you just because you can? Naruto asked, causing Vegeta to pause and think about the answer he would give next. Was that his only reason? Did he truly have no other reason to fight that didn't revolve around honor and glory and simply killing others just cause he could? For the first time in his life, Vegeta began to question his reason for fighting. You have given me much to think about, cousin. I am afraid I do not have an answer yet. Can you give me time to think? Vegeta asked him as he got up to walk away, but stopped to look back at Naruto, who also got up and grinned. Take as much time as you need, Vegeta, and I am glad I was able to give you something to think about, Naruto said, getting a smile from the prince. Instead of that cocky smirk he was so proud of. Flashback end. Naruto had indeed given him something to think about. Oh, he still killed, but now he only did it when foolishly attacked or his family was mentioned in a bad way and never killed out of pleasure. He even managed to get Raditz to follow his lead, Vegeta thought. Sadly, Nappa was a lost cause. Many planets they visited are proof of that, although the bug planet was the only exception. Vegeta made he took great pleasure in wiping those disgusting insects out. Those were some nasty bugs, they made my very skin crawl, Vegeta thought, shivering in disgust. I honestly hope he made it out okay along with his crush, Vegeta said with a smirk which Raditz had no problem returning as well. Oh, they knew of his crush on the older female and took every chance they got to tease him about it, but were happy all the same. Ha. I say good riddance, I hope the explosion took him. One less weakling of our race, Nappa said until he was punched so hard in the gut he thought he was going to die. Nappa then looked up thinking he would find Vegeta in his line of sight. But found Raditz there instead of him with a look of pure hatred on his face. With his hair flickering from black to gold then back to black again. Shocking Vegeta at what he saw and thought his eyes were playing tricks on him. I thought Prince Vegeta told you to watch your mouth. But since you are hard of hearing I will say it. If you disrespect Naruto again, low-class Saiyan or not, I will kill you myself. Raditz shouted as his hair flickered from black to gold, again causing Vegeta to blink and then rub his eyes. Okay, what am I seeing here? Is Raditz on his way to becoming the Saiyan of legend? Vegeta thought in shock. Why, you low-class scum, how dare you touch me? Nappa shouted, about to attack Raditz before Vegeta flexed his power, making Nappa freeze in fear. Nappa, I said enough. Or do you want me to kill you? Vegeta shouted, fed up with this idiot with hot air for a brain, getting a grumble in return. Vegeta, what planet are we headed for next? Raditz asked. Last I checked it's a slime planet, Vegeta said, getting a repulsive look from him and Nappa. Can we just destroy the planet? It doesn't seem like this planet is going to profit much, Nappa said, getting a groan from Raditz. I have to agree with the oaf with no brain. That sounds like a disgusting planet to sell, Raditz said, pissing off Nappa, but remembering the punch he got Nappa wisely shut up. Little did he realize however he was already on the path to death because of his constant disrespect of Naruto. Chapter 1. 1 year later. Wake up Naruto, destination in sight, Naruto's computer said. As a mist shower went off before the pod's light came on and Naruto started to wake up. As well as Fasha before they saw the planet. That is one beautiful planet, Fasha-chan, Naruto said, causing Fasha to blush again before she voiced her thoughts. It sure is better than planet Vegeta. No offense to your cousin, Fasha said, not wanting to upset her best friend by dissing his cousin. Nah, don't worry about it. I'm sure Vegeta would agree with ya, Naruto said with a smirk. I'm sure he would, and it looks like we made it out of the vortex safely too, Fasha said. Then an alarm went off, making them both pale knowing what that could mean. Danger, danger, malfunction, primary thruster damage, the computer said, causing Naruto and Fasha to panic. Brace for impact, Fasha-chan, it's going to be a bumpy ride, Naruto said. As they soared out of control toward the planet. Hoping that wherever they landed there were no bystanders as they flew through the air toward a village with a fenced-off forest. Unfortunately, due to the out-of-control ships. They were discovered by several people, including one with a red-white hat on his head. Forest of Death. Crash. Soon the two ships landed heavily in a clearing. Thankfully the heavy armor protected it as the ships landed in one piece. Unfortunately, while one pod opened right side up revealing Fasha. The other wasn't so lucky and landed upside down. Ow. Naruto yelled as he fell out thanks to his pod being on top of Fasha's. Well, he then had swirls for eyes due to the roughness. Naruto-kun, are you alright? Fasha asked, worried for her friend as she rushed to check on him as he sat up and shook his head of the cobwebs. Ugh, yeah, I'm okay, thankfully the pods are self-repairable thanks to my father. Otherwise we would be stranded, Naruto said. Shaking his head before taking out his scouter and started scanning the area they were in. Before they heard what sounded like an animal whining. Naruto, you hear that? It sounds like a wounded animal, Fasha said. Before he lifted himself off the ground and flew off where they heard the sound. With Fasha following him. Unknown area. Soon Fasha and Naruto came into the area to look for the source of the wounded animal and came across a baby fox with a hurt leg. Before Naruto landed and approached the downed fox, who growled at him in warning until Naruto put his hands up, showing the young fox he meant no harm whatsoever. Easy fella, I just want to help is all, Naruto said while the fox kid just whined, getting Naruto to look at his leg with a frown before he lifted his hand and held it over the baby fox's leg before sharing his power with the young kid as his wounds started to heal. Here you go, little guy, Naruto said with a smile before the fox jumped into his arms and started licking him, causing him to laugh. Okay, down boy, you're very welcome, Naruto said as the fox pulled back, yipping in happiness, making Fasha smile. Well, Naruto-kun, looks like you made a friend only after 1 minute of being here, Fasha said. But smiled in amusement when the fox jumped out of his hands, got in front of him, and started growling at her. Aw, isn't that cute, he is protecting you, Fasha said, giggling before she put her hands up in a surrender motion, humoring the fox. Good boy Kurama, you did a good job protecting me from this horrible person, Naruto said with a grin. As they all laughed when the little fox kid puffed out his chest in pride and at the same time accepted the name he was just given. Although Fasha is not an enemy, she is a friend, Kurama, Naruto said before the now named Kurama walked up to Fasha and started circling her, sniffing her. Before he sat down in front of her, tilting his head before yipping at her, causing her to bend over and pick him up and pet him, making him purr. Aw, you are such a cutie, Fasha cooed out, making Kurama yip more before Fasha and Naruto's scouter went off, making them eye a tree. Come on out, we know you are there, Naruto said before Kurama jumped out of Fasha's arms, got in front of them, and started growling at the tree. Causing the person in the said tree to jump out in front of them. Revealing said person to be a woman in a fishnet bodysuit, skirt, and trench coat. This was Anko Mitarashi, sadist specialist in the T&I department. Wow, was all Naruto said, looking at the woman, making Fasha jealous. That's what got his attention? Fasha asked. Hey, just because she was a Saiyan warrior didn't mean she liked Naruto's attention on anyone else except her, even though he was only 11. So you are the two that caused the commotion, the woman said, smirking at the young fox kid that was still growling at her. It's okay Kurama, she is no threat, Naruto said, unintentionally pissing off the woman, who threw a kunai at him, which he caught and turned to face her just as she appeared behind him, causing her eyes to widen. Sorry, I didn't mean for that to sound offensive, Naruto said as his scouter beak showing the women's power level shot up to 1515. Wow, impressive power, reading a 1515, and I am guessing that's not even her full power, Fasha said, shocking the woman further. You mean that device on your face could not only track me, but tell you how strong I am? The woman said, causing the two to nod. That is right, but where are our manners? My name is Naruto and this is my best friend Fasha. As you guessed, we are not from this planet, we crash landed here because of our planet exploding, Naruto said with a frown, causing the woman to look down in sadness. But then perked up and introduced herself. I am the sexy but single Anko Mitarashi, the now named Anko said, posing as a banner dropped down behind her. As Naruto, Kurama, who was done growling at the woman, and Fasha looked at her in amusement. Very cute Anko-san, Naruto said, clapping along with Fasha and Kurama using his paws. Before she gave them a bow and sent them a wink before straightening up. As I said before, you caused quite a commotion that our leader saw you as your ships flew past and sent me to investigate, Anko with a smirk, causing Naruto and Fasha to rub their heads. Sorry about that, it seemed our ship sustained some damage upon our escape from our home planet, Fasha said with a frown at the loss of their people. As she turned to Naruto with a small smile on his face. Fasha, don't you remember what mother told us? We are not the last of our race, including you, me and Kakarot, there are 6 of us left, Naruto said, unaware of there being another. As Anko looked at them at the weird name they just said. Right, if you two will come with me. We can see the old man, Anko said, getting a chuckle and giggle from the two Saiyans and yips from Kurama, which they assumed were laughs. Very well, Miss Anko, lead the way then, Naruto said as he and Fasha hovered off the ground, shocking Anko. Before Kurama jumped on Naruto's shoulder, shocking him, but smiled as he flew over to Anko and picked her up under her arms, making her squeal as Fasha flew after them. With Anko, Fasha, and Naruto. Wow, this place is amazing, wouldn't you say, Fasha-chan? Naruto asked, causing his companion to nod and blush again. As he continued to put the chan suffix after her name before they looked down and saw the villagers staring at them in awe. It sure is, Naruto-kun. Though I do have to admit, these people staring at us look like they never saw a flying person before, Fasha said before laughing while Anko smirked. That's because they haven't seen an actual flying person before. The only person that has been known to pull that off is the leader of the stone village, Anko said. So no one knows how to use Kai. Naruto said, confusing Anko with the word he just used and voicing her confusion. What's Kai? Anko asked, causing Naruto and Fasha to realize not everyone uses Kai, so Fasha decided to explain with Naruto jumping in every now and then. Kai, also known as latent energy or fighting power, which directly translates as life force. This force is a tangible energy inside every living being, with its major focus being in the center of the body. By drawing it out, manipulating it, and using it outside the body. Kai can be used for many different techniques, Fasha began before Naruto jumped in. Because there are physical limits to the strength of the body itself. It is necessary to increase one's Kai to overcome this barrier and become stronger, Naruto said before continuing. Usually, the more concentrated the masses are, the more time the user requires to draw it out by powering up, Naruto said before Fasha took over once again. You see, when fighters gather Kai, they can gain enhanced strength, speed, and endurance, and can increase the power of their attacks to inflict greater damage to opponents, Fasha said, looking over to Anko, who was still being carried by Naruto, getting a nod from her to show she was still listening before Naruto took over again. Normally, the more Kai is increased, the harder it is to control, so Kai control is also important, Naruto said before Kurama yipped, and for some reason, Fasha and Naruto were able to understand what he was saying. Yes, animals to have Kai. I have encountered a few off-planet. You see, my race are what you would call planet broker. Most of us find a planet that we think will make a profitable sell, exterminate its inhabitants, then get it ready for selling to other life forms, Naruto said, getting a frown from Anko. There are some pretty disgusting creatures on most planets, Fasha said with a shudder. Thinking of the one planet she went to. Which was full of disgusting sludge people. Which she was honestly all too happy to exterminate, considering she let one of their attacks hit her. Thinking it was nothing, and she wound up heavily embarrassed when she had to fly home in her pod naked. Naruto just glared at nothing as he was told about that particular planet, and once she told him about what happened. He left for the planet and wiped it out of existence with a vindictive smile on his face. Oh, and what kind of planets did you go to? Anko asked curiously. Well, like I said, this one planet had nothing but sludge creatures on it, and let's just say you do not want to let any of their attacks hit you, an embarrassing fact I found out firsthand, Fasha said, frowning when she saw Naruto's glare. Bastards deserve to die after what they did to you, Naruto said with pure hatred in his voice. Before Fasha flew up to him and kissed his cheek with a smile. Are you still upset that sludge creature stripped me naked with his attack, Naruto-kun? Fasha asked with a smile. You're damn right I am. But I have to admit, it shocked me when you flew through my window to avoid being seen, Naruto said, blushing, remembering how she flew into his window and he got a full eyeful of her naked body. Including her fur mass when she thought no one was home. That was the first time he ever saw a naked woman, wasn't it? A shocked Anko asked Fasha, referring to Naruto and getting her to nod. It was his face was so red he passed out with a nosebleed, Fasha said, finding his reaction to her naked body cute. Even though he was only 7 at the time, though frowned after he vanished after he woke up and she was already gone. Still you didn't have to go and vaporize the planet, those creatures were already dead, Fasha said with a frown. 1. I did it to protect your pride as a Saiyan, I know how much that means to you and 2, those things apparently didn't stay dead for long. When I got there I sensed a whole lot of life on that planet and it was the same energy signature that I felt on you after you came back, Naruto said with a frown, thinking she was still disappointed in him for what he did. However, now that she knew why he did it. Disappointment was so far back in her mind that she couldn't help but smile. He wanted to protect her dignity and pride, though she greatly frowned when he said they reformed after she and her team left. While Anko smiled thinking how sweet it was that Naruto protected the one thing a woman held sacred to her. By the way Anko, what's that mark on your neck? It reeks of evil, Naruto said. Then when he felt Anko stiffen up, he guessed he hit a sore subject and was about to apologize. Until she told him what it was. It's a curse mark my former sensei left me before he abandoned me and left the village, Anko said with malice in her voice. Causing Naruto to frown. Fasha-chan, can you activate my scouter so I can get a reading on this thing? Naruto asked before Fasha flew to the other side of him and pushed the button turning it on. Before the scouter started scanning the mark on Anko's neck before it started beeping. Well, this is a problem. Well, sort of, Naruto said getting a look from Fasha, and while he couldn't see it. A frown from Anko not liking what he said. What did you find about the mark, Naruto-kun? Fasha asked while Anko wanted to know as well. You mean aside from the fact this mark can be removed? Or the fact that it has a soul in it just waiting to take control if she uses it? Naruto asked getting wide-eyed looks from both women. Unknowingly pissing off Anko. I knew it. I knew that old pervert was lying to me. Anko raged while Fasha frowned more. Please tell me you can remove it, Anko said with a begging face looking at Fasha. Then tilted her head up to look at Naruto who sadly shook his head. I have no idea how it works. Nor am I qualified to handle such things from other planets, Naruto said, causing Anko to frown. Until Naruto spoke up again hoping his next words would help her. Still, my father was a scientist and while I am not on his level. I am willing to try, Naruto said, making both girls smile. Or in Anko's case a sort of upside-down smile due to her bending her head backward to look up at him. Keep being sweet like that, Naruto-kun, and you are going to have women at your feet left and right before you turn 20. Including me, Fasha said, getting laughs from both of them and a blush from Naruto. Fasha-chan, I'm just being honest here, Naruto said with a furiously blushing face before Fasha smirked. Oh, that's too bad, I guess you don't want my ass in your future then, Fasha said before she flew in front of Naruto and gave her ass a good smack. Making it jiggle before Naruto almost dropped Anko due to his blush increasing, causing the two women to laugh. Especially Anko not at all worried that she was almost dropped knowing she was safe with them for some reason. Now where was I? Naruto asked wanting to finish on how to use the power of Kai. Oh yeah, now I remember. Now energy can be lost when the user sustains injuries. So maintaining proper balance between the body and spirit is important in utilizing energy, and the more properly balanced they are, the more energy you can project, Naruto finished while Fasha nodded, agreeing with what Naruto said. As Anko nodded as well before they arrived at a big red tower with a word cage written on the building in a strange language. Hokage Tower. Once the three arrived, Naruto set Anko down. Before he and Fasha landed and walked the stairs before making their way to a door and knocked before they heard an elderly voice telling them to enter. So Anko opened the door and Naruto and Fasha came face to face with an old man. Sitting behind a desk with gray hair smiling kindly at them. Greetings space travelers and welcome to our humble planet. I am Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage of the village in which you crashed in. Hiruzen said getting all of them to chuckle before his scouter went off. Who is the person standing behind you trying to hide their presence? Naruto asked getting Hiruzen to stare at him and shocked that he knew his guard was there. Before signaling for the Anbu to join them seeing it was pointless to hide. Which the Anbu did seconds later showing a person with long purple hair with a cat mask on. This was Yuga Yazuki. The village sword mistress. Pleasure to meet you ma'am, my name is Naruto and this is my good friend Fasha, Naruto said as Fasha waved to her. Then Naruto walked up to her to shake her hand. Which she returned with a shocked look on her face, thankful that her face was hidden. It also shocked Hiruzen and Anko, but confused Fasha. Naruto-kun, how do you know it's a woman? For all you know it can be a man, Fasha said before Naruto pointed to his nose. Unlikely. For one, her body type doesn't show the least bit of manliness. Second, the firmness when she shook my hand was not that of a man, but of a woman, and last I can smell the fragrance of moon flowers on her, Naruto said with a smile, shocking them even more. Very good Naruto. Yes, I am indeed a woman, the cat mask Anbu said with a hidden smile before he smiled at her. Besides, even if I was wrong her feminine voice just gave her away as well, Naruto further said with a smirk. Making the mask Anbu giggle seeing the shocked looks on their faces. Suddenly Naruto's scouter went off again so he followed the arrow and saw it was pointing beside Hiruzen's head. So he pointed his finger beside his head and used a Kai blast, killing the fool who was trying to remain hidden. Shocking everyone including the Hokage as he looked at the now dead Anbu. Naruto, you know that was another one of my Anbu right? Hiruzen asked, getting a shake of the head from him confusing them. I somehow doubt that. Unless you have Anbu with blank masks, Naruto said pointing to the dead Anbu's mask. Which they all looked at and saw that he was correct making Hiruzen scowl. Wow, Naruto-kun these new scouters your father made really do work to that extent, don't they? Fasha teased getting a grin from him. Indeed they do. In fact I have kind of a confession. The primary reason I knew Nico here as a woman was because the scouter gave me an almost complete bio he said, surprising them all including Fasha, since her scouter doesn't have that detail his does. Did that scouter tell you what my name is then? Nico asked, deciding to test what all that scouter as he called it told him about her. Making Naruto shake his head. No, it only works if people are not wearing something to cover their entire face beautiful, Naruto said with a smile. Causing the two women to blush as well as the Anbu, even though her face was covered so no one could tell. It was then the fox Naruto had decided to make himself known again by giving a few yips, surprising them all. Oh you have a small companion with you and a fox I see, Hiruzen said with a smile. Until Kurama jumped off Naruto's shoulder and ran to the Anbu and began sniffing her. I think Kurama likes you, Naruto said, which he found weird since that was the third woman today and he didn't growl at her like he did Anko. Then the Anbu picked the young fox up and he nuzzled her, making her giggle. Before Kurama took her mask and jumped away from her, shocking them all and revealing her face to them. Now Kurama, that's not nice, return it to her, Naruto said as he reached for the mask before Kurama shook his head. Then ran to the other side of the room before looking at her. I think you have to catch him before he returns it, Fasha said with a giggle followed by Anko. Better get going Ni-chan. That is if you want your mask back, Anko said with a smirk, getting a playful glare from her. Before she started chasing the fox as all of them smiled in amusement. So what brings you here? Hiruzen asked as the purple-haired woman was seen in the background every now and again running after the fox. Well, we just happened upon this planet by chance. Due to our home planet being destroyed by a comet that shut off our Kai. So we could not defend ourselves and the explosion knocked our pods off course and we crash-landed in a forest. Which is where we found him, Fasha said then pointing to Kurama who was still being chased by the woman. Intentionally leaving out the part about the vortex they didn't think he would believe that. So you're more than homeless you are planetless as well, Hiruzen said with a frown, even getting one from the woman chasing Kurama. Who stopped to look at the two offworlders with a sad look in her eyes. Even Kurama stopped to look at them. Giving the woman a chance to get her mask back. Way to go Yugao, Naruto said with a smirk. Shocking the others that he knew her name. But then remembered what he said about his scouter. Which they assumed was the device on his face. A power level of 1616 and 2020 huh? Not bad, Naruto said, shocking them. I assume that device is some kind of power detector as well? Hiruzen asked, getting a nod from the two. Yep Anko has a power of 1515, Fasha said. Getting a smug look from Yugao while Anko playfully glared at her best friend. Yep, but you're probably all just suppressing your true power levels. So it's not really useful, Naruto said before taking his off and putting it on his side followed by Fasha, then Anko spoke up when she realized something. You said you were planet brokers right? Anko said. Getting the two to nod and the others to freeze up hearing the word broker. Then couldn't you just find yourselves a new planet to live on? She asked, causing them to shake their heads. Receiving a confusing look from her. It doesn't work like that Anko. We sell planets to other races. That rule doesn't apply to us since our planet is. Or was top-notch, and even if we wanted to conquer a planet to live on there are only about 6 of us left, Fasha said with a frown. So you're not only planetless. You're almost extinct, Anko said now feeling worse than she did before. Unknowingly making Yugao feel just as bad for them. Fasha and I originally planned to follow our fellow Saiyan Kakarot to Earth. But like I said the explosion of our planet knocked us off course. Fortunately, the outside is covered in armor so there wasn't any damage. Except maybe the thrusters which is how we came to crash in that forest, Naruto said. Suddenly an Anbu entered the room and bowed to the Hokage. Lord Hokage the council demands your presence along with the two aliens, the Anbu said as Hiruzen's chakra spiked, setting off their scouters. Before Naruto took his and widened his eyes at what he saw. Wow, a power level of 2525. Now that's impressive for a human, Fasha said, making Naruto nod. I didn't know the council was allowed to call meetings. Since I am the Hokage of this village, Hiruzen said sternly, causing the two Saiyans to frown. Sounds like some people in this village need to be re-educated on the pecking order around here, Fasha-chan, Naruto said with a vicious grin. Once she returned unknowingly, making Anko and Yugao blush. Whatever you two are thinking, please don't kill them and give me more paperwork. Even if they are stupid in the head, Hiruzen said, making the two Saiyans, Anko and Yugao, laugh before the three started walking to the council chamber. So I have to ask, what's up with the head mountain? Some kind of monument? Naruto asked, looking at the mountain along with Fasha. We carved the Hokage's faces into the cliffside. To honor their leadership and dedication to the village, Hiruzen said, looking to his predecessors. Although he frowned at what became of the one who succeeded him. But if you are the third, what happened to the fourth? Naruto asked before Hiruzen frowned. Sadly, my former student Orochimaru killed him. When he was caught performing child experimentation and tried to stop him, he said, causing the two Saiyans to frown and told themselves they would avenge this fourth Hokage. If they ever caught this Orochimaru. Council chamber. Soon Hiruzen and the Saiyans arrived in the council chambers. Which was split by a large rectangle table, and on either side of the table were two sets of people. On one side were people in normal clothing. Causing Naruto and Fasha to guess they were the unimportant people. While on the other side were people in gear, showing they were at least of some importance. But what had Naruto's attention was how these people carried themselves. One had black hair shaped into the style of a pineapple, with a scar on his cheek, black eyes, and while he looked very lazy. However, Naruto could tell this man was very intelligent, even though to Naruto he just preferred to be lazy. This was Shikaku Nara, head of the Nara clan. The second had brown hair, swirls on his cheeks, brown eyes, and looked like he was pleasantly plump, but both Fasha and Naruto could tell he was a very kind soul, caring about his friends and would do anything to help them, even if he didn't like to fight. This was Choza Akimichi, head of the Akimichi clan. The third was a man with long blonde hair and a ponytail, blue eyes, and the way this man carried himself, and if he was honest with himself, he looked like someone that could break your mind if you angered him. This was Inoichi Yamanaka, a mental specialist and head of the Yamanaka clan. The fourth was a man with short, wild, spiky black hair, dark shades, and high collar covering his mouth, and you could see a slight mustache. This was Shibi Aburam, head of the Aburam clan and bug user. The last male had long brown hair, wide eyes like he was blind, and a very stoic face that made him seem almost unapproachable. This was Hiashi Hyuga, head of the Hyuga clan. Although the last two, which were females, unnerved him quite a lot. The first woman had wild brown spiky hair, slitted eyes, and markings on her cheeks that looked like fangs, and she was looking at him with pure lust, making him shiver. This was Tsume Inyazuka, head of the Inyazuka clan. The last woman wasn't any better. She had black long hair, a soft face, and black eyes, and she was looking at him the same way the first woman. This was Makoto Uchiha, the matriarch of the Uchiha clan. Fasha-chan. Why do I suddenly feel like I am a piece of meat? Naruto asked, causing the men who heard him to chuckle. Even the stoic Hiashi and the women giggle. Fasha then frowned and activated her scouter, scanning all their levels, and frowned even more, seeing they all had weak power levels except one side of the table, and for some reason an elder man. Naruto-kun, I don't think you have to worry aside from the people to your right. The others are so pathetic it's not even funny, they only have a power level of 5, Fasha said, pissing them off and causing the shinobi side to chuckle. Well, the sole young woman on the pathetic side chuckled under her breath. Who are you calling weak? We are the honorable council of this village and you will show us the proper respect. An arrogant fat man on the pathetic side yelled. But they just dismissed him like the bug, he was pissing him off more. I would ask why are we here, but I think Hiruzen here would like to ask that question himself, Naruto said, getting shocked looks from the people at the show of disrespect for the leader of the village. Not that the old man minded if the unnoticeable smile on his face was anything. The young man is right, how dare you overstep your boundaries and call a council meeting without my approval, Hiruzen said with a furious tone of voice, raising his chakra and setting off their scouters again, but this time showing them a reading of 3535, impressing them further. We were just concerned, Hiruzen. We saw the unidentified objects fly into the forest of death. So naturally we wanted to know if we were being invaded, a mummy-looking man with only one eye said. This was Danzo Shimura, head of the Root faction, before a Kai blast was sent flying past him, grazing his cheek, shocking him, and saw the female with her hand out with one finger out, showing she was the one that did it. I believe that's Lord Hokage to you, One Eye, so know your place, shut your mouth and speak when your leader is speaking to you directly, Worm, Fasha said with a cocky smirk one Naruto mirrored, causing everyone to shiver. Except for the women who licked their lips at both of them, causing Fasha to raise an eyebrow. Forgive me, Lord Hokage, I spoke out of turn, the mummy said in a slightly scared tone of voice. He didn't even see that attack coming at all, and that worried him greatly. However, if I can take control over just one of them. I can rule this village and the world, the mummy thought with a mad look in his eye, then used his hidden eye to try and take over the two's minds, only to find out that he couldn't. Oi. The two Saiyans looked at the mummy. Then each other and nodded, having felt the same thing, and decided to keep an eye on this guy. What exactly are you two anyway? The soul woman on the pathetic side asked with a smile, slightly licking her lips while looking at Naruto. She was a fair-skinned woman with shoulder-length blonde hair with a single bang that fell into her face, and green eyes with a white kipao dress. This was Mibukki Haruno, the more sensible one of the civilian council. We are a proud warrior race called Saiyans. I guess you could say we are sort of planet brokers that sell planets to the highest bidder. Well, most of us anyway, Naruto said, putting the entire council on guard. Including the two women who were literally eye-humping them. However, we are kind of stranded here. That is until our ships finish repairing the damage that they sustained from our planet exploding, Fasha said, getting sad and horrified looks from everyone. Except the old fossils. Who were grinning, thinking that if they could get their hands on just one of their ships, they would be the strongest village around. So you're the last of your kind? Asked the blonde green-eyed woman with a sad frown on her face, getting a head shake from them and confusing them. No, aside from me and Naruto-kun here, 4 more of us remain. One was sent to a distant planet we were on a course for when the explosion knocked us off course. The other 3 were already off the planet, Fasha said. Though it's probably 5 of us left if that idiot Nappa isn't already dead, Fasha mumbled under her breath, getting a chuckle from Naruto. Knowing Nappa most likely will already be dead by the time they meet up again. Before anyone asks though, Naruto and I have no problem roughing it in the forest. We spotted a tower there before we crashed in the second clearing near some shrine, Fasha said, making everyone widen their eyes knowing what shrine they meant, and smiled. Well then, enjoy the tower. But word of advice, try not to destroy it. We use that for an exam that's coming up soon, Hiruzen said with a chuckle, getting everyone else to chuckle except a furious mummy who was not happy and made it well known. Absolutely not, that tower is strictly for the Chunin exams. To allow these outsiders to have a home in the tower is outrageous. You can't make that decision without our approval, Hokage or not. The mummy shouted before Hiruzen leveled a glare at him and spiked his chakra, setting off their scouters, but they paid them no mind, figuring his power level was still the same. Are you seeing this, Fasha-chan? Naruto asked with a shocked face, making Fasha nod with her eyes widened. I am Naruto-kun, he has a power level of 35, Fasha said, highly impressed with this human and wondering if there were others just as strong. You speak out of line, Danzo. I am Hokage, not you. This is a shinobi village, civilians only have a say in wartime, this isn't wartime, so as Naruto here said, know your place and shut your mouth, civilian. Hiruzen said with a smirk, getting a playful glare in return, shocking the civilians and making the shinobi laugh. Matter of fact, you civilians can leave, this doesn't concern you, Hiruzen said as the civilian side got up to leave. Glaring at the two Saiyans as they left, however, Naruto stopped one in particular. Hold up, you girl in the white dress, Naruto said as the woman looked over her shoulder with a kind smile. My name is Mibukki Haruno, Mibukki said as Naruto and Fasha nodded, acknowledging the name before Naruto spoke up. You can stay, I can tell you're not like them. I can see you have some knowledge of these ninja arts, am I correct? Naruto asked as Mibukki nodded. Yes, I am a former ninja. I used to be a jonin before I retired to take care of my daughter before she started the academy, Mibukki said with a smile before Hiruzen smiled and nodded for her to stay until her arm was grabbed by the fat man of the council. Come on, Mibukki, let's leave the old fossil to these space invaders, the fat man said before a shot rang out and phased through Mibukki and killed the man. Before the remaining people in the room looked at Naruto, who had his finger extended, showing he was the one that killed the man with a vicious smile on his face, while the two women on the shinobi side rubbed their legs. Now that's no way to treat a woman, and I'm just an 11-year-old child, fatus, Naruto said as Fasha looked at him with a smirk, but if you looked closer, you could see a light dust of pink on her cheeks. Well, Mibukki blushed as well. That was impressive, but tell me, how is it your shot didn't kill Miss Haruno? She was right in front of the man. The man with a pineapple-shaped hairstyle asked before Naruto smirked. Simple, she wasn't the target, so the shot passed right through her without harming her, Naruto said, getting confused looks from everyone except Fasha. Sorry, but everyone is entitled to their secrets. You wouldn't willingly give away the secrets of your village if I asked now, would you? Mr. Lazy, Naruto said as everyone sweat dropped, seeing he had a point. However, they did laugh when Naruto called Shikaku lazy. I have a name, you know it's Shikaku Nara, Shikaku said with an annoyed tone. Hey, I am still going to call you Mr. Lazy, you don't seem all in it like Blonde and Mr. Big Boned over here, Naruto said with a smirk, getting everyone to fall over laughing. Including said Blonde and the big boned man receiving a tired glare from Shikaku. By the way, who are the two women giving me, and if I am right, Fasha-chan bedroom eyes? Naruto asked while the men moved away from the two women. Well, Naruto, allow me to introduce the Shinobi Council. To my right is Shikaku Nara, the most intelligent along with his clan, or Mr. Lazy as you call him, Hiruzen said, making Naruto raise his eyebrow. I can tell he was intelligent when we first walked it. But why does he sit around and waste it then? Naruto asked as the rest chuckled. He thinks it's a drag until his wife gets on his and their son's case. Or if there is a war that needs to be won, the man with the ponytail said with another chuckle. So in other words, he is an absolute waste of a life. If his wife isn't around or it's not wartime, good to know that my respect for you is now down to zero, Fasha said bluntly. While the others hung their jaws at how blunt this woman was to Shikaku's way of life. Well, I can't say I disagree with Fasha-chan here. If I was in his place I would be making sure this village had the best defenses in case of an invasion, Naruto said, frowning a bit. While everyone looked at Shikaku, who was fast asleep, making Naruto's and Fasha's eye twitch. Fasha then raised a hand and fired off a Kai blast that exploded inches away from Shikaku's face. Before he fell backward in shock, getting very shocked looks from everyone else. Real men also don't fall asleep when someone is trying to teach them. I don't care how smart you are, Fasha said with a glare at the man. How troublesome, Shikaku said. Before he dunked a Kai blast that went over his head and hit the wall. Care to repeat that? Naruto asked with a dangerous tone as an aura appeared around him in the shape of an Azure head, making him pale and quickly shake his head in fear. No, nothing sir, Shikaku said while everyone laughed at the poor man. Yes, well if you're done scaring, my tactician. Second is Inochi Yamanaka, one of the best in the T&A department. Ah, torture and interrogation, huh? I assume you're very good at what you do, huh? Naruto asked for a nod from Inoichi. Until he saw Naruto's grin and knew he was about to be tested. Okay, true or false, I come here from a distant planet. Not because of the loss of my planet, but because this planet is on my list as a viable sell. After I kill every single person here except the women and children. The children I sell, the women I keep as my slaves. Naruto asked with a straight face, making everyone gap at him except Fasha, who smirks. That is obviously a lie. You don't have a single evil bone in your body. Despite being part of a race of planet brokers, Inoichi said, grinning, causing Naruto and Fasha to grin back. Very good, you saw through that lie pretty fast. I'm impressed, Naruto said, grinning more. Before Hiruzen cleared his throat and turned to the big bone guy. The third person is Choza Akimichi, head of the Akimichi clan, Hiruzen said, only to see Naruto gone and on the table crouched down in front of the man, staring at him as if staring into his soul. You big guy, you have a very kind soul, one that does not like to fight. But will if his friends are in trouble, Naruto said with a smile, patting his shoulder and making him smile. Thank you, Naruto, and I can tell you have a kind soul as well. Despite being from a race of planet brokers, Choza said as he patted Naruto's shoulder as well. Naruto then leaped off the table doing a backflip before landing by Fasha's side. Before Mibuyuki saw something gold around his waist. Naruto, if I may, what is that thing on your waist? Mibuyuki asked before Naruto grinned at her, making her blush again. It is my tail, all of us Saiyans have at birth, Naruto said as he unwrapped his tail and it swayed back and forth. Until Mibuyuki tried to touch it before his tail gently smacked her hand away. I wouldn't do that for some Saiyans, it's a weakness for us. We lose all our power if they are grabbed, Naruto said, making everyone frown until they realized he said for some it's a weakness. So it can be overcome then? Tsume asked, getting a nod from Fasha. Question, why is your tail gold while Fasha's is brown? Mikoto asked, making them think. That's actually a good question. I guess the best answer would be I'm not sure. I am the only one of my race with a golden tail, Naruto said with a frown, wondering if that was why people saw him as different. Until Fasha hugged his arm for support, getting a frown from Mikoto. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up bad memories, she said as Naruto just waved it off. Forget it, it's not like I was an outcast, I was actually well respected for the most part, Naruto said, grinning, getting a grin in return before Hiruzen cleared his throat again. Can we continue please? Hiruzen asked, getting chuckles out of the men and giggles from the woman as he turned to the feral woman. The first woman is Tsume Yuzuka, head of her clan, Hiruzen said as they looked at her as Tsume gave them a feral smirk. I believe young Hana is being groomed to carry the clan forward in years to come, Hiruzen said, getting a nod from Tsume before she sighed. Unless my embarrassment of a son proves himself worthy, Tsume scoffed, obviously disappointed in her unnamed son. Causing Naruto and Fasha to frown, feeling sorry for the woman. But as it is, my oldest pup Hana is the current heiress, Tsume said, smiling thinking of her daughter's progress. My son Sasuke is the same way. He thinks that just because his father was the fourth Hokage that everyone should bow to him no matter who you are, Mikoto said, annoying Naruto and pissing off Fasha even more. Sorry you have such a brat, Mikoto-san, Naruto said as Mikoto just waved it off. Before everyone including her widened their eyes. How did you know my name? Mikoto asks, looking suspiciously at Naruto. Before Hiruzen proceeds to beat his head off a wall, making the two Saiyans laugh and Naruto answers her question with a smirk. This device on my face is capable of doing more than reading power levels. It can also read me a person's bio, but it won't work fully if a person has their entire face covered, Naruto said as Fasha laughed harder as their mouths gapped like fish. Wait, then what was the point of us introducing ourselves? Choza asked before seeing Fasha's smile. Hiruzen knew about it, ask him, Fasha said, still grinning, getting everyone to look at the Hokage, who was now sitting back down with a huge lump on his head. I simply forgot that function, Hiruzen said as everyone laughed at him, making him frown more. Oh my lord Hokage, maybe someone else needs to be elected. So you can retire in peace so you don't lose the rest of your mind, Mikoto teases, getting a playful glare in return. Very funny Mikoto. I will have you know my mind is as sharp as ever, Hiruzen said, puffing out his chest before everyone including Mipyuki, who was now sitting in a vacant seat on the shinobi side, looked at him with a teasing smirk, making him pout. You're all mean to your leader, Hiruzen said, making everyone laugh harder. Before they all got up and left after Hiruzen dismissed them all. Forest of Death Tower. Wow, this is one impressive tower, Fasha said as she looked around with Naruto not too far behind. I know, and look, there is even an arena we can fight in. But I think we better keep our word and not damage it too much, Naruto said, getting a nod from her while they continued looking around. 20 minutes later. Can you believe it, nothing but rooms here, this tower is big, Naruto said. Until a familiar voice was heard making them turn around to see Anko grinning at them. It was designed that way for the Chunin exam second round, Anko said, confusing them. That was the second time they heard that word, the first being from that mummy Danzo. Seeing their confusion, Anko decided to explain to them what the Chunin exam was. A Chunin exam is an exam held once every 2 years to see which genin can advance in rank, Anko said, receiving a nod from them. I'm guessing that it's not a tournament to see which one wins, right? Naruto asked, getting a nod from Anko this time. Correct, to advance to Chunin it can be anyone, not just one person. The catch is you have to impress the people, and they sort of vote for those who make an impression. Then the leader of that person's village, Anko tried to say until Fasha finished for her. Become Chunin, which the others get another chance next time. I'm guessing 6 months until it can be held again, right? Naruto again asked, getting another nod and smile. Again, that is correct. Konoha holds the exams once every 3 years, this year being year 3, meaning it's our turn, Anko finished, making them nod. Okay, let me see if I get this. The Chunin exams are held once every 3 years for your village 2 times a year. Open to everyone. Then they vote for the ones that make an impression regardless of the winner, Naruto said, getting a nod from Anko once again. Yes, but it's up to that country's lord to decide, Anko causing them to nod. It made sense after all. All villages had to be governed by someone. So the leader of said village doesn't screw things up. But I bet it doesn't always work like that. I mean, surely the one that governs each village is at least corrupt in some way, right? Fasha asked, causing Anko to sadly nod. This is true, I hear that the Cloud Village's country leader is as greedy as they come, Anko said, receiving a frown from the two Saiyans. That's one incompetent leader then, Fasha said bluntly, getting Naruto to agree while Anko laughed. Well, I gotta agree there. Some leaders are cocky, thick-headed, and just plain stubborn, Anko said, causing the Saiyans to laugh again before she joined in. Night. Soon night had fallen and Naruto was outside looking up at the full moon, smiling as he felt himself trying to transform. But kept his body from doing so by rejecting the blood's waves. A trick his mother and father showed him while Fasha was in the kitchen cooking, thanks to Anko showing them there was more to the tower than multiple rooms. Naruto-kun, dinner is done, Fasha said coming out of the tower, seeing him stare up at the moon. I still can't believe Minato found a way for us Saiyans to look at a full moon without transforming, Fasha said with a smile. Yeah, neither can I. It was always an impossible feat, or so people thought, Naruto said before he started howling. Before the wolves and coyotes of the forest started howling as well, getting them to smile before Naruto got up and headed for dinner, followed by Fasha, then went to bed. Chapter 2. 2 years later, Naruto 13, Fasha 19. Naruto and Fasha were headed to the academy for the final time, and they had to say that they couldn't be happier. While they were flying though, they passed a certain ramen stand and figured they would stop in and grab a quick bite to eat since they could be there at any time they wanted and not be late due to their speed. Ramen stand. Hey Tucci, AM-chan, 2 big bowls of the Naruto and Fasha specials, Naruto said before they heard crashing coming from the back, making them cringe before they heard hurried footsteps, and seconds later a woman with long dark brown hair and big brown eyes was seen. This was AM Ichiraku, daughter of Tucci Ichiraku. Naruto-kun, Fasha-chan. AM cried out before she leaped over the counter and into their arms before she kissed them, each causing her father to laugh. Now AM, don't you think we should make their meals first before you get carried away with them? Tucci teased before Am pulled back and blushed before getting up and started walking to the back to make them their meals, shaking her ass at them as she did, making them grin. I still can't believe this is our last day of the academy, Naruto-kun, Fasha said with a smile, making him smile back. I know, but so help me, if any of us land on a team with Sasuke or Kiba, I am going to do everyone a favor and kill them both, Naruto said darkly, with Fasha agreeing with him. Well, look at it this way, Naruto-kun, now we can travel and search for this earth Kakarot is on, and hopefully the others will be there too, Fasha said, remembering their talk with the Hokage. Including their academy instructor. Flashback. Hokage's office. So let me get this straight, you want to join the academy. But you also want permission to leave every so often to find the rest of your kind, as well as clean up threats to the universe. Hiruzen asked, wanting to be sure if he heard right, getting a nod from the two Saiyans. That's right, surely you can understand the importance of family, right? Fasha asked, getting a nod from the Hokage. Well, I don't see why not, but how will I be able to contact you if we need help? Hiruzen asked, getting a smile from the two. Well, being the genius my father was as a scientist, I may have something that may help. Provided it survived the crash, if not, well, I can always create a new one, Naruto said with a smile. Naruto-kun, why don't you make a scouter made only for two-way communication? Fasha asked, making him think about it. That just might work, Fasha-chan, and the process is so simple too, Naruto said before pointing a finger behind him and firing a Kai blast before another faceless Anbu dropped dead, causing Hiruzen to jump in shock at the sudden Kai blast. That mummy just won't quit, Fasha said, starting to get annoyed, causing Hiruzen to chuckle at the description they gave Danzo and Naruto to grin. Well, as long as I can get in touch with you, Hiruzen said as he gave them slips to join the academy before they smiled at him and left through the door. 2 weeks later. Settle down class, let's begin today's lesson, a teacher with brown hair and a ponytail like those of the Nara clan, black eyes, and a scar rubbing across the bridge of his nose said. This was Iruka Yamino, the academy instructor. However, before he could get to the lesson he was interrupted by the door opening and the two Saiyans walked in handing him a slip of paper, while the class looked at them as the girls ogled Naruto and the guys gave lustful looks at Fasha, but Naruto and Fasha paid them no mind. Okay class, today we are going to be having 2 new students joining us, the teacher said, while all the students shouted about how unfair it was to have 2 new students join when they have been here for years. What, that's not fair, Iruka-sensei, we have been here for years, why do they get a free pass? A boy with a grey fur hoodie and a small dog on his head asked. This was Kiba Inuzuka, the self-proclaimed alpha of the class. You don't like it, Kiba? You can take it up with the Hokage now, sit down and shut up so I can let them introduce themselves, Iruka said with a glare, making Kiba shut up. Well, would either of you care to introduce yourselves? Iruka asked with a smile, looking at the two who smirked and decided to have some fun before looking at the class and giving them an introduction. My name is Naruto, my hobbies, likes and dislikes are none of your business, Naruto said with a straight face, but on the inside he was laughing up a storm as the class fell over at the introduction, while Iruka gaped, seeing this was something his friend Kakashi would do. My name is Fasha, and just like Naruto-kun, my likes, hobbies and dislikes are also none of your business, Fasha said with a straight face, while on the inside she was laughing like Naruto as the class once again fell over while Iruka and his partner sweat dropped. Okay, take a seat top row if you please, Iruka said with a struggling smile, while the two Saiyans walked up the steps until Fasha yelped when the same boy who spoke about being unfair that they joined the academy this late slapped her ass, while Naruto, who walked by, unwrapped his tail and bitch slapped the taste out of his mouth, sending him flying out of his seat and right out an open window. Keep your hands to yourself, Mud, I am the only one that can touch her, Naruto said to the window. The boy flew out of, missing Fasha's furious blush at such possessiveness as the girls gave him praise for what he did to the pervy Mud and the boys gave him jealous looks. Yes, well, once Kiba gets back we can begin class, Iruka said, giving the two nervous looks. However, as it turned out, Kiba would not be coming back into class that day. Turns out the fall broke his arm and leg from the landing, while the slap Naruto and the thing around his waist gave him dislocated his jaw. A few weeks later. Can I help you gentlemen with something? Naruto said in a bored tone as he was surrounded by 10 blank mashed Anbu. Lord Danzo is giving you one final chance to join him or die, the emotionless Anbu said, causing Naruto to laugh. You idiots will never learn, will you? What makes you think 10 of you will make a difference where 5 of you have failed? Naruto asked but got no response, which made him sigh. Let's just get this over with. I have places to be and a project to work on, Naruto said as they all ganged up on him as he danced around them like the ants they were until he froze as once managed to get his tail. Well, looky here, you got my tail, congratulations, you're the first to ever grab it, Naruto said as he made a show by falling to one knee, pretending to be weak from having his tail grabbed. That is correct, young one, and now you're all mine, a voice said as a figure came out of the shadows, revealing it to be Danzo, who grinned at his weak state thanks to one of his pawns being well hidden in the council chambers. Fu, hold on to his tail tightly while I administer the seal on his tongue, Danzo said as he walked closer before he widened his eyes, seeing him smirk as he smacked the Anbu holding his tail away before attacking the others until only him and Danzo were left standing. Impossible, you were supposed to be weak from that, my pawns told me so when he was spying in on the meeting, Danzo said, still in shock before Naruto laughed. Foolish human, did you think I would announce my weakness without having already conquered it? Naruto inquired, grinning, making Danzo scowl before vanishing. I don't see why you don't just kill him, Naruto-kun, Fasha said, jumping from the tree she was on after watching the entire thing. Ah, he is no match for me or even you, and he knows it, so why kill him when I can settle for humiliating him? Naruto asked, causing Fasha to smile and laugh. That's just like you, Naruto-kun, not killing anyone unless they are a true threat, Fasha said with a smile, getting a grin from Naruto before they walked back to the Forest of Death so Fasha could get dinner started and Naruto could finish that project he is working on, not feeling the need to fly everywhere they went. Forest of Death. As soon as they got back to the forest, they were confronted by two rare animals. At least to him and Fasha they were rare: a male albino coyote, a female albino wolf, and an even bigger Kurama, who surprisingly to them at first had 4 tails instead of just 1. Rama, Raksha, Kurama, how have you 3 been? Naruto asked with a smile as the 3 loved up to the 2 Saiyans like common house pets. We have been fine, Naruto, we have been watching your hopefully temporary home while you were at the academy, Kurama said, making the 2 Saiyans smile more. That was the one thing that changed ever since Naruto had turned 12. Kurama seemed to go through a growth of sorts. It was like there was a spirit inhabiting his body until the spirit matured enough and started changing his friend. Mini flashback. So you're saying there is nothing wrong with Kurama and that he is going to be okay? Naruto asked a female veterinarian who had a ponytail, soft eyes, and red fang marks under her eyes, telling him she was from Tsume's clan. This was Hana Inuzuka, daughter of Tsume and heiress to the clan. He will be just fine, Naruto-kun, Kurama is a strong fox, he will pull through, but do you mind if I keep him overnight? There is something I wish to confirm, there is something strange about him, the woman said again with a kind smile. Of course, miss, take care of him, Naruto said before leaving until said woman stopped him. My name is Hana Inuzuka, Hana said, making him pause. Ah, so you are the daughter Tsume spoke of when we first met? Naruto asked, getting a smile from her. That is correct, and you and your friend are from another planet, Hana said with a giggle before she found her mouth closed by his hand. I would prefer you don't say anything about that. I rather not have that spreading yet, though I get the suspicious feeling it already has, Naruto said as she giggled more before she playfully licked his hand, making him shiver as he let go. Your secret is safe with me, Naruto-kun, Hana said, getting a small blush from him as he flew away. Mini flashback end. Look on the bright side, Naruto-kun, at least the change wasn't dangerous, even if it did turn him into a bit of a pervert, Fasha said as she glared at Kurama, who laughed nervously. Mini flashback. Ahhh, get out, you perverted fox. Fasha screamed out, drawing Naruto's attention as he rushed to the hot spring they found by chance in the forest, where he saw Fasha naked for the second time, but had the decency not to stare before he grabbed the fox and took him away from the spring, letting Fasha bathe in peace. Fasha just stood there after Naruto took the fox away, naked as the day she was born, but if you looked closely, you could see a small smile on her face, glad he was such a gentleman, and turned away as soon as he snagged Kurama. Oh, why do I wish he had looked at me like this, Fasha thought with a blush now on her cheeks before she went back to bathing. Mini flashback end. Though I am surprised you didn't stare at me, Naruto-kun, Fasha said with a smile. Well, if I am going to see you naked, I want it to mean something, Naruto said, causing Fasha to widen her eyes and then place her hand over her heart with a soft smile before Fasha got in front of him and softly kissed him, shocking him before he placed his hands on her hips. You truly are something, Naruto-kun, Fasha said after she broke the kiss before she got out of his arms and went into the tower to start dinner, all the while shaking her ass at a still shocked Naruto. Well, that just happened, Naruto said with a smile as he placed his fingers on his lips where Fasha had kissed him before walking to a makeshift bench and sat down before Naruto got to work finishing the blueprints for the project he was working on. Flashback end. So Naruto-kun, do you think you will be finished with IT soon? Whatever it is. Fasha asked with a smile, getting Tucci and AM, who walked out with 2 bowls each of the Naruto and Fasha special and set them down, then sat down herself and listened. Hopefully, because we still need to head to Earth and see if Kakarot made it in one piece, and hopefully see if the others are there too -1 I hope, Naruto said, confusing AM and Tucci, but figured this Kakarot, whoever was just like them, a Saiyan warrior. I hear you, Nappa has worked all our nerves for far too long. I honestly hope your cousin kills him, Fasha said with venom in her voice. Nappa will get what is coming to him, and if somehow he survives he will wish he was dead when I get a hold of him, Naruto said, darkly surprising Tucci and AM. Wow, you must seriously hate this Nappa guy, Naruto-kun, AM said before Fasha spoke up after she swallowed another bite of her food. Let's just say Naruto-kun here has had a crush on me since he was 6, which I found cute, Fasha said, smiling before placing her hand in his. Anyway, the reason Naruto hates our fellow Saiyan is cause he has always been making inappropriate sexual comments at me, which he took great offense to and came to my defense every time, despite me not caring what anyone thinks about me, despite always getting beaten up by him, Fasha said with a scowl at the brainless brute. 7 years ago. Naruto, you have got to stop picking fights with Nappa, Fasha said with a frown as she carried a 6-year-old Naruto to the healing tank. Oh, I will once that brainless moron stops making sexual comments and advances at you, Naruto said, making Fasha stop and look down at him before grinning. Oh, does little Naruto have a crush on me? Fasha said with a teasing tone before her eyes widened as Naruto turned his eyes away, blushing and slowly nodded, shocking her more and making her heart warm up, but then frowned, realizing there was a slight problem at the moment. That's cute and sweet, Naruto-kun, but you know I am 6 years older than you, right? Fasha asked before she saw his frown and not realizing she added the kun suffix after his name. I can't help it, Fasha, I think you're very pretty, Naruto said, causing Fasha to now blush at his bold statement and decide to see if he was truly serious about wanting to court her. Tell you what, Naruto, wait until you are 13, and if you still feel that way about me by then I will be waiting for you, Fasha said before she widened her eyes as Naruto embraced her with a huge smile. You promise? Naruto asked after he broke the hug as Fasha held out her pinky. Pinky promise, Naruto, Fasha said, locking her pinky with his. Flashback end. Oh, that's adorable, AM and Tucci said to the blushing pair as they quickly finished their ramen. Well, AM-chan, Tucci, we gotta get going, they both said at the same time before they paid them, then began to hover and make their way to the academy. Academy. Once they arrived they landed and walked into the building hand in hand before Naruto opened the door and let Fasha enter first, then thanked him with a kiss, making the boys glare at Naruto and the girls glare at Fasha. However, 2 pests got in their way, making them frown seeing Kiba and Sasuke, who still hadn't learned their lesson after Naruto beat them up for harassing her multiple times. What do you want now, duck butt? Mutt? Naruto asked with a bored tone, knowing what was coming and making the class laugh at the comment about the back of Sasuke's hair. I want you to teach me how to use the power you have and then teach me your moves so I can use them to kill Izumi. As the son of a Hokage, I command you to teach me, Sasuke said in a smug tone, expecting to get what he wanted because he was the son of a former Hokage. As for me, I want what is mine. I am the alpha, Fasha should be mine, Kiba said with a glare, causing the whole class to frown at the two. I keep telling you idiots, 1, I don't know if I can teach people Kai. 2, even if I could I wouldn't teach you Sasuke, and 3, Fasha-chan here would eat you alive, Kiba, so buzz off you insignificant pests, Naruto said before he and Fasha started walking to their seats. However, Kiba and Sasuke growled before grabbing his tail and giving it a good squeeze, hoping in some way it would weaken him. Are you two done? Naruto asked in a bored tone as his tail twitched and smacked Kiba and Sasuke into a wall just in time before Iruka and his partner walked in and dunked. Sasuke, stop provoking them, Iruka said with a sigh. However, Sasuke smirked, thinking he could spin this in his favor, knowing his fangirls would agree with him. Little did he know, though, he barely had any left. But Iruka, it wasn't my fault, I was just talking to Fasha-chan when Naruto attacked me, Sasuke said with Kiba agreeing with him, though glared at Sasuke when he added chan to Fasha's name. Liar, they heard the class shout as one. Well, almost all as a few stayed quiet, agreeing with Sasuke and glaring at his former fangirls who all glared back, shocking him, though they held their ears as a certain woman was the loudest. You two attacked him first. Shouted the woman with pink hair, green eyes, and the same dress Mibukki Haruno had on but in red. This was Sakura Haruno, daughter of Mibukki Haruno, causing Naruto to look at her and wink, making her blush. Kiba and Yazuka, Sasuke-cha, go back to your seats or you fail and will be held back, Iruka said before Kiba nodded and went back to his seat while Sasuke glared and challenged him. You can't do that, I am the son of a Hokage, as such I command you to punish them. Sasuke yelled with a scowl, expecting Naruto to be punished, however all Iruka did was glare, showing he didn't care either way and would not do as he said. Down duck butt, Naruto said before he took his tail and slammed him into the ground, making spiderweb cracks and making the class laugh more. Okay class, for the final exam there will be 3 parts. A writing portion, a taijutsu portion, and a shuriken and kunai portion, Iruka said as he and his partner Mizuki passed out tests. Writing portion. Soon Naruto started writing down the correct answers after he gave the test a once over before he glanced over at his mate out of the corner of his eye and saw she was having no trouble writing down the answers either. 5 minutes later. Soon Naruto put down his pencil after he finished and folded his paper before looking at Iruka, who nodded his head smiling, before he sensed eyes on him before looking behind him and saw the two heiresses staring at him with smiles, whom he learned were the daughters of Inoichi and Hiashi, Hinata Hyuga and Ino Yamanaka. Hinata Hyuga had blue short hair and blank eyes, which he learned from Hiashi were his clan Dojutsu the Byakugan, and a heavy coat. Flashback. So I have to ask you, Hiashi, why do you favor your youngest but hate your oldest? Naruto asked with a frown, getting a frown in return. It's not that I hate Hinata, it's just the elders are stuck in their old ways. Believe me, I want nothing more than for her to succeed. I love my children, they mean the world to me. It's just difficult with the elders breathing down my back. I feel like I have no choice but to be hard on her, Hiashi said with a sad smile, knowing he could do better instead of treating her like she was a failure. I am also afraid of her getting that damn seal, Hiashi said, afraid of what would happen to Hinata once she got the cursed seal. Cursed seal? Naruto asked before Hiashi told him about his clan's abomination. One explanation later. Well, what if I offered to help her? You know, so these elders get off your back, would that help? Naruto asked, trying to keep his rage in check as his hair flashed gold for a brief second before returning to red, making Hiashi's eyes widen, unaware of what almost happened. You would do that for her? Hiashi asked with a tearful smile while Naruto patted his back. Of course, Hiashi, and in time I can come up with a counter seal, one that would benefit the entire clan and that they can proudly wear instead of one side living as slaves, provided I can study the seal or have a branch member come see me, so I know what I am dealing with, Naruto said with a smile, while Hiashi thought of his dead brother and what happened to him because of said seal. I would be forever grateful to you, and perhaps you might have a chance to study it after a certain exam comes up, Lord Naruto, Hiashi said with a teasing smile, knowing how much Naruto hated that title. Watch it, old man, I am not too young to kick your ass, Naruto said with a playful glare before the two laughed and went their separate ways. Flashback end. Naruto smiled and altered his voice in a way nobody but her could hear. Your father said I can train you, how does that sound? Naruto asked Hinata, who was about to speak, until he stopped her. Just give a nod if you accept, we don't want people to think you're crazy talking to yourself now, Naruto said with a chuckle, making her blush, but nodded anyway. Naruto turned his eye to Ino and just winked as she blushed before turning her head and focusing on her test, while Sakura looked at the interaction with a frown. A few minutes later. Okay class, pencils down while Mizuki and I come to collect your tests, Iruka said before he and Mizuki got up to collect their tests. Outside Taijutsu portion. Okay everyone, it's time for the Taijutsu, so line up everyone, Iruka said as everyone did as told before they began. Okay, next is Fasha and Hinata, Iruka said as she and a nervous Hinata got in the circle, but before Fasha left for the circle, Naruto pulled her to the side and whispered in her ear. Let her have this one, Fasha-chan, she needs a confidence boost, not to mention I agreed to train her, and I am sure she would be grateful for your help as well, okay? Naruto asked, getting a nod from her before she proceeded to the circle, but let out a cute squeal when she felt Naruto smack her ass, while she looked back at him with a furious blush while he chuckled. Fasha versus Hinata. You may begin, Iruka said as Fasha and a timid Hinata rushed at each other, though for Fasha, she held a great deal of her strength back to give Hinata a fighting chance, though if Hinata and Fasha were honest with each other, they were having a blast. Then to everyone's surprise including Fasha, Hinata decked her hard in the chin, lifting her in the air and out of the ring, ending in her victory, sadly crashing into Naruto. The winner, Hinata Hyuga, Iruka said with shock as Hinata jumped in shocked joy. Yes, I can't believe I beat a Saiyan even if she was greatly holding back on me. Hinata cried out, shocking everyone more that Fasha held back and making Fasha giggle and Naruto chuckle after they stood up as they walked back, though Fasha held her jaw slightly. Naruto vs Sasuke Duckbutt and Kiba Mutt. Next up is Naruto and Duckbutt, and by Naruto's request a Mutt, Iruka said with a smirk, causing the class to laugh as Sasuke and Kiba glared at Naruto and then Iruka, who didn't seem fazed. Get in here, loser, it's time I teach you your place and show you that you're no match for a Hokage's son, then Fasha-chan will be all mine, Sasuke said with a smirk, pissing off Kiba. No way Sasuke, Fasha-chan is mine, I'm the alpha around here. Kiba said with a scowl as Sasuke glared at him while the girls glared at Kiba. Shut up and fight already. I have better things to do than listen to you two idiots. Fasha is mine, get over it, Naruto said with a smirk before the two rushed him, throwing punches and kicks at him as Naruto just stood there unaffected by the assault. As soon as the assault was over, Naruto just stood in the same place he was before, looking bored. Was that it? I didn't feel a thing, Naruto said boredly, making them seethe before Sasuke went through hand signs. Fire-style fireball jutsu, Sasuke called out as he launched a fireball at Naruto, who just stood there while everyone shouted at him to move, including Ino, Hinata, and for some reason Sakura. Naruto just smirked before he unwrapped his tail and gently tapped the fireball, sending it back at Sasuke, who jumped out of the way, then looked at him with wide eyes. Is that all? Tell you what, I'll give you a handicap. I'll only use my tail to fight you, Naruto said, smirking before he rushed them, doing what he said and used his tail to clobber them before smacking them out of the ring with his tail, leaving red prints on their faces. The winner is Naruto, Haruka said as everyone cheered for him before he looked at the down idiots. I told you two morons you will never reach the same level as me, Naruto said with a cocky smirk, turning around and left before Sasuke, in a rage, charged Naruto with a kunai, shocking everyone again, and was getting ready to shout at Naruto to move until he quickly spin kicked the arm with the kunai, breaking Sasuke's arm, making him cry out in pain. What part of you will never be at my level do you not understand, duck butt? Naruto asked with a sneer, tired of repeating himself before he went back to Fasha's side and smirked at her, getting a smirk back. Hokage's office. Well, that just happened, Hiruzen said, watching everything from his crystal ball, causing everyone to laugh at Naruto, literally toying with Sasuke and Kiba. Lord Hokage questioned why did Naruto and Fasha want to join the academy anyway. They obviously don't need it being as strong as they are, so I have to ask what was their reason. Asked a black-haired ruby-eyed woman with a bandaged dress. This was Kurenai Yuhi Genjutsu specialist. But questioned Kurenai and one I didn't bother to ask, Hiruzen said, getting looks from everyone in the room. Well, whatever the reason, they could use some teamwork, which is why I recommend having those two along with Sasuke Uchiha on my team, a scarecrow-looking man said, while everyone looked at him like he was stupid. Are you crazy, Kakashi? With the ego Sasuke has with his late father being Hokage Naruto, and Fasha will likely kill him, a chain-smoking person said. He had black hair and a beard and was never seen without a cigarette in his mouth. This was Asuma Sarutobi, son of Hiruzen Sarutobi. Now Asuma, you underestimate Naruto and Fasha. I am sure with a little training I am positive I can have them working as a unit in no time, Kakashi said with an eye smile, before he returned to the book he was reading, pissing off Kurenai. What Asuma says is true, Kakashi, which is why you will be getting Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Sai as your teammates, and I expect you to train them, not just focus on Sasuke. I don't care what the brat says, Hiruzen said, causing everyone to laugh. Asuma, you will be training the next Ino Shikacho trio, Hiruzen said, getting a nod from him before he turned to Kurenai. Kurenai, you will have Hinata Hyuga, Shino Aburam, and Kiba Inuzuka, Hiruzen said, getting a nod from Kurenai, though unhappy she got stuck with Tsume's brat, who thinks every woman should throw themselves at him. So what about Naruto and Fasha, pops? Asuma asked his father, who was about to answer before they looked at the crystal ball and could swear they saw Naruto and Fasha staring at them all. It's almost like they can see us, Asuma said in amusement before he widened his eyes when he saw Fasha and Naruto smirk at them and give them a peace sign. They can see us, Kurenai said with a shocked look on her face, though blushed a little when she saw Naruto wink, getting a chuckle out of everyone minus Kakashi, who was too busy reading his book. Although I must say, Kakashi, good luck training duck butt with a broken arm, Asuma said with a chuckle, using the nickname Naruto, and Fasha gave him, getting a laugh from his father and another giggle from Kurenai before they went back to watching the Genin hopefuls, or in Kurenai's case watching Naruto and Fasha discreetly licking her lips. Completely forgetting their question about the two. Classroom. Kiba Inuzuka, Sasuke Uchiha, you will not do that again, or I will drop you from the academy, and you will have to wait until next year, Haruka said with a scowl, not at all pleased with what they pulled Sasuke more than Kiba, causing them to glare at him, not that he cared. Kunai and shuriken portion. Soon the class was at the target section where they were called up one by one. The clan heirs and heiresses got a 5 and above, except for Sasuke, who with only one arm barely passed with a 6 out of 10, while the civilians got a 5 and below. Naruto, you're up, Haruka said with a smile, missing Mizuki's smirk as Naruto stood in front of the targets, noticing these kunai and shuriken were a bit heavier and increasing his strength, making them lighter like they were supposed to be, and tossed them, getting a 10 out of 10, making the class cheer, causing Sasuke, Kiba, and Mizuki seethe. Well done, Naruto, and you got bonus points for hitting vital spots too, Haruka said, causing the class to cheer again before looking at the other Saiyan. Fasha, you're next, Haruka said, handing Fasha 5 kunai and shuriken before she turned around and tossed them without looking, and like Naruto got a 10 out of 10 as well. Well done, Fasha, and you get bonus points for hitting vital spots as well, Haruka said, making the class cheer while Fasha walked back smirking. Okay class, now the final part of the test, you must perform the 3 basic jutsu to pass, Haruka said before he and Mizuki went into the other room before they started calling the students one by one. So while they waited for their names to be called, Fasha and Naruto started talking about the different projects he was working on. So Naruto-kun, how is that anti-seal for Anko coming along? Fasha asked while unknown to them Hinata was listening in. It's going surprisingly well. I honestly am surprised at how easy that seal was to crack. I estimate that by the end of the week, the cursed seal Anko wears will be a thing of the past, and she can use it too without any setbacks. However, I'm going to need a branch member though, so I can make an anti-small, so the cage bird seal will be a thing of the past, and the Hyuga will have a seal they can all be proud of, Naruto said, unknowingly making Hinata gasp and cry. So most likely before our first real mission. Fasha asked, getting a nod from Naruto before they saw Hinata in front of them. Can I help you, Hinata? Naruto asked before his and Fasha's eyes got big when Hinata launched herself at him before wrapping her arms around him, crying into his chest, saying thank you over and over again, before the two smiled and Naruto returned the hug, unknowingly making Sakura jealous, but also smiled as whatever was said must have made Hinata happy. Fasha, Haruka said before she got up and walked to the other room and wiggled her ass, making him smirk before Naruto and the class widened their eyes as Hinata took a seat in his lap and made Kiba jealous, not that anyone cared. So secret projects, huh? Hinata asked with a smile before Naruto shook his head at her with a smile. Now Hinata-chan, no spoilers, that would be cheating, Naruto said, shaking his finger before Hinata playfully nipped at it, making him smirk, taking his finger away, though she did blush when he put Chan after her name, before Fasha came back with her headband around her arm. Sakura Haruno, Haruka called out before she got up and headed to the next room, but if you looked close enough you could see a small sway in her hips, causing Naruto and Fasha to lift their eyebrows. What about the big project? Fasha asked, making Naruto sigh and frown. Sadly, I don't know. I could always take the blueprints with me and start construction of it on Earth if need be, Naruto said, confusing Hinata, but figured she would know when it was finished before they saw Sakura come out with her headband on her head. Way to go, Sakura, Naruto said with a smile, making her smile and flush at the praise, until Sasuke spoke up with a scoff. Oh please, we all knew she would pass, the only thing she possesses is book smarts, Sasuke smirked, making Sakura frown until Fasha spoke up with a glare. You know, Sasuke, that's pretty tough talk coming from someone who just had his arm broken and just barely passed because of it, Fasha said, causing everyone to laugh at him, including Hinata and Sakura, pissing him off as he tried to attack her. However, Naruto stood up, moving Hinata off his lap and easily caught the punch before it passed him and squeezed, causing Sasuke to cry out in pain before he was kicked into a wall. How many times do I have to tell you, weakling? You will never be a match against us, Naruto said before he held out his hand in a C and fired energy cuffs binding his hands and feet to the wall. Hinata Hyuga, Haruka called out before Hinata got up and left the room shaking her ass, getting the two Saiyans to smile. Looks like your little stunt worked, Fasha-chan, despite knowing you purposely held back and let her win, giving her a huge confidence boost to be more confident in herself, Naruto said with a smile. So once you complete the project, what are you going to call it? Fasha asked Naruto, who thought about it before he smirked. How about the Saiyan conversion machine? Naruto asked, causing Fasha's eyes to widen. Are you saying you are going to make more Saiyans? Fasha asked, confusing the class on what she meant before Naruto nodded. It's only going to be a prototype though, once I know it works then I will build a real one, Naruto said before Kiba arrogantly spoke up. I'll be more than happy to test this prototype so that way I can further show Fasha-chan how awesome I am, Kiba said, making everyone laugh at him, even Sasuke, who was still pinned to the wall, making Naruto and Fasha scoff. Oh please Mutt, you are far from worthy of becoming one of us. In fact, you and Duckbutt are the last people we would grant that power to, Naruto said, making him growl before Hinata came out sporting her headband around her neck. Naruto, Haruka called out as Naruto got up and made his way into the other room. Test room. Okay, Naruto transform, Haruka said as Naruto used his Kai to turn into Haruka, which he marked down smiling. Good, okay, now substitution, Haruka said before being substituted with Kiba, who was surprised before he vanished, and Naruto reappeared before they all heard a painful cry before Naruto and Haruka chuckled, making Mizuki frown more. Okay, now clone, he said before Naruto used his Kai again and made several copies of himself, shocking him and Mizuki, who seethed more. Well done, Naruto, you passed, Haruka said, handing him his headband, which like Fasha, he tied to his arm and walked out. Classroom. Soon Naruto came out proudly showing his headband on his arm and smirking before looking at Kiba and Sasuke. Looks like I passed Duckbutt and Mutt, Naruto said before he snapped his fingers as the energy that bound Sasuke vanished before he dropped to the floor just as he was called. You're too nice, Naruto-kun, Fasha said, smirking, making him shrug and then smirk before he sat back down before Fasha leaned her head on his shoulder. Then a few seconds later Sasuke came back in with a smug look on his face. Ino Yamanaka, Haruka called before Ino got up and walked by before shaking her rear Naruto's way, making him chuckle. Is it just me or do these girls really want me? Naruto asked with a laugh, making her giggle. Maybe you should give what we talked about a chance, Fasha said with a smile, making him groan, causing Hinata and Sakura to look on in confusion, so he explained. Asha wants me to have a harem to repopulate our race, Naruto said, making them blush and causing Sasuke and Kiba to seethe, but then Sasuke smirked, as if he knew something they didn't. Well then it's a good thing he isn't accepting then cause the council won't accept his kind, Sasuke said smirking as if he had won, but frowned seeing Naruto's smirk. Really? Naruto asked with a smirk, then it's a good thing Hiruzen pretty much disbanded the civilian council, since the second Hokage created the council for wartime use, and guess what Duckbit? It's not wartime, Naruto said with a nasty grin horrifying Sasuke. Oh one other thing this is our race mine, and Fasha's the council has no control over us, Naruto said with a vicious smirk pissing him off. Soon Ino came back and sporting her headband around her waist like a belt before she smiled at Naruto and Fasha, blowing them a kiss, making Fasha giggle and Naruto chuckle. Wow looks like she has it out for you bad Fasha-chan, Naruto said, making her giggle again. Well I do swing both ways after all, Fasha announced causing Hinata, Sakura and Ino to have a nosebleed, making him chuckle more and just shake his head just as Iruka and Mizuki came out of the room. Well, class I am proud to say you passed and wish you luck in your future. As for those that didn't pass, better luck next time, Iruka said before pulling out a list for the teams. Team 7 will be Sakura Haruno, Sai and Sasuke Uchiha. Your teacher will be Kakashi Haddock, Iruka said while Sakura heard but groaned hearing Sasuke's name. Team 8 will be Hinata Hyuga, Shino Aburam, and Kiba Inuzuka. Your teacher will be Kurina Yuhi, Iruka said while Kaba walked in joy thinking about the babes on his team. Team 10 will be Ino Yamanaka, Choji Akimichi, and Shikamaru Nara. Your teacher will be Asuma Sarutobi, Iruka said before Naruto fell out of his seat laughing. What's so funny Naruto-kun? Ino asked, wondering why he was laughing at her new team. Oh it's nothing, I just wish you could have ended up on a good team as well as Sakura, Naruto said, trying to get his laughter under control, confusing them more. The reason I'm laughing is cause I honestly feel sorry for you two first your team Sakura will most likely fail no offense. I mean you have the emo duck butt that makes people wanna kill themselves and is so arrogant he believes people should bow to him because of who his father was. Add on to the fact I bet you anything this Kakashi I heard about will most likely waste your valuable time by being so tardy. I'm surprised anyone lives under his leadership, he is so lazy it's embarrassing how he became a ninja is beyond me, Naruto said, while Team 7 narrowed their eyes for different reasons. Although with his books no longer in stock, he might be more competent Naruto thought with an evil smile, remembering what he had done to a particular series. Flashback. You want to what now? The owner of the bookstore asked in shock. I said I want to buy all of these copies. I am a huge fan and I keep having mine stolen, Naruto said with a hidden smirk lying through his teeth. By all means take them all, they are all yours, the owner said as Naruto paid the man and walked out with all copies of the Makeout series, whereupon being out of sight, he tossed the books in the trash and burned all of them with a look of hatred and disgust. Flashback end. Oh, how I wish I could have seen the horrified look on his face, Naruto thought with an evil laugh before turning to Ino. As for your team Ino I honestly don't think you should put your trust in a Nara, Naruto said as said Nara just opened his eyes and glared at Naruto as everyone laughed. Oh and why do you say that? Ino asked, trying not to laugh. The men of the clan are mostly useless unless it's wartime or their wives are getting on their cases, Naruto said while everyone laughed even Choji chuckled a bit as he couldn't deny that about his friend. Troublesome indeed, was all Shikamaru said before he fell backward as Naruto launched a Kai blast in front of his face, causing people to laugh harder. You know real men at least try to pay attention. I don't care how smart you are, Naruto said with a glare with a manifestation of an Azure behind him, scaring him shitless and causing everyone to laugh at his expense. Anyway Fasha and myself have to see the old man about our sensei, Naruto said while Naruto and Fasha headed for the door before he stopped in front of Sakura who looked at him. If you want a shot with me then start training I am sure you will see great improvement and if you are worried about your weight don't be training burns that right off, Naruto said with a smile causing her to smile back. Oh and one more thing, consider either cutting your hair or putting it in a ponytail. It gets in the way and is an easy target, he said before they took flight and left for the Hokage's office, getting Sakura to think over what he said while smiling more. Hokage's office. Knock knock, Naruto said opening the door before chuckling at his own joke, causing everyone to laugh before he pointed his finger a few inches beside Kakashi's head and fired a Kai blast, killing yet another blank masked Anbu, making Fasha sigh in frustration and the others to have wide eyes. How many Anbu is Danzo willing to risk old man? Naruto asked him, questioning Danzo's sanity causing everyone in the room to laugh except Kakashi, who was too busy reading his trash. I don't know and I disbanded Root years ago, Hiruzen said, frowning before Naruto looked at the book in Kakashi's hand and smirked. Hope you enjoy that book because it's the last one, Naruto said, making him widen his eyes and then glare. You are responsible for buying all of them. What are you a super fan or something? Kakashi asked with an eye smile, getting a repulsed look from Naruto. "Oh please Scarecrow, I didn't buy them to read them," Naruto said, then took great pride at he look of Kakashi's face at his next words. "I bought them to destroy them," Naruto said, getting a very horrified look from Kakashi and a very pleased smile from Kurenai. "But why they are gold," Kakashi said, defending his precious until they felt the whole room shake. "They are trash, you sorry excuse for a ninja," Naruto shouted before firing a Kai blast and destroying the book in his hands, much to his horror before he was pinned to a wall by his neck. "Now here is what you are going to do. You are going to go into that room, pick up your students, start testing them, and then train them. Or else I am going to make you regret the very day you were ever born. Do I make myself clear?" Naruto asked, making Kakashi nod his head rapidly before Naruto dropped him and he ran out of the room to pick up his students, getting looks of awe from the remaining people. "Wow, I didn't think anyone could make him move that fast in his life," Asuma said with a laugh along with Kurenai, who looked at Naruto again feeling wet from his dominance. "Anyway, we are here to see who our sensei is," Naruto said, getting a nod from Fasha before the other two started leaving the room before Kurenai stopped and walked back to him, making him look at her, raising his brow. "May I help you, miss?" Naruto couldn't finish before she pulled him into a fierce kiss, surprising him before she let go and walked out shaking her ass. Yay, so that just happened," Naruto said, getting a laugh from Hiruzen and Fasha. "Anyway, I have your sensei right here," Hiruzen said before Yugao walked out from the shadows without her mask, smiling at the two. "Well, if it isn't the beautiful moonflower, how have you been?" Naruto asked, causing Yugao to blush and then playfully glare at him. "Now Naruto-kun, is that any way to talk to your sensei?" Yugao asked with a smirk before she, Fasha and Hiruzen smiled in amusement as Naruto got down on his knees and started bowing repeatedly. "Oh yes, my apologies Yugao-sensei, I didn't mean to offend you Yugao-sensei, please allow this lowly Saiyan to punish himself for such disrespect," Naruto said, smirking, making them laugh more as he joined in seconds later and stood back up. "Well, Team Saiyan, I wish you luck on your D rank missions. I would start you on a C rank immediately, but," Hiruzen said, but was cut off by Fasha. "It's completely fine, every village has to start somewhere," Fasha said, not minding along with Naruto as they started walking out and Hiruzen got back to work before hearing a shout. "Oh, crap, I forgot to give Asuma tobacco-free stuff that has all the effects of regular tobacco, but none of the negatives, no." Naruto cried out, causing Hiruzen to fall over laughing his head off. Chapter 3. A few days later. "I must say Naruto-kun, never thought you would be so calm about what other ninjas of this village dread," Yugao said with a smile, getting one from Naruto and a strained one from Fasha. "Oh come on Yugao-sensei, I honestly don't mind. I love helping people, but I am sure Fasha is regretting this now," Naruto said, then teased his girlfriend as she looked at him with a side glare of annoyance. "Well, if you keep this up, the entire village is going to love you and most likely elect you as the next Hokage, especially the elder people," Yugao said, remembering the elders that he helped in only 2 weeks. Flashback. "You just can't help but help others, can you Naruto-kun?" Fasha asked her boyfriend with a loving smile at him, once again helping another elderly couple. "I may be a Saiyan babe, but I am not so arrogant as to not help others when they need it," Naruto said before he spotted an elderly woman struggling with groceries and zipped over to help her. "Need some help?" Naruto asked as he helped her with her bags before the woman saw him and widened her eyes. "Lord Naruto, that's okay, I can handle it," the woman tried to say, but Naruto just shook his head. "Nonsense, I insist," Naruto said with a charming smile as he helped her carry her bags into the house, even going so far as to put them away for her before she paid him despite him refusing and even telling him that she insisted this time. Flashback end. "Ha. Like my father would say, I am not built to lead, I am built for science," Naruto said with a smile, making Yugao shake her head with a giggle, knowing Naruto would rather be in a lab inventing than leading a village before they both heard something that irritated them to no end. "Naruto." A shout was heard before Team Saiyan turned around to see an enraged and furious Kiba heading their way, only there was something different about him and Naruto wasn't talking about the lack of a dog on his head. "Hello Mutt, how is life as a regular civilian now, and those yellow fang marks on your cheeks now showing your disloyalty and cowardness and exile from your clan?" Naruto asked with a vicious smirk, causing Kiba to glare at him with pure hatred. "This is all your fault, you are going to take responsibility for this and admit you framed me for that crime now and release Fasha-chan from your control." Kiba yelled, expecting him to come clean with his lies before they started laughing at him, while Yugao smirked. "First off, you did this to yourself when you stole the scroll of sealing, even knowing what doing so could mean for your clan status. I had nothing to do with your stupidity. Second, Fasha isn't under my control," Naruto said, thinking back to a few nights ago. Kiba had a real stupid idea to get Fasha's attention which cost him everything, but also wondering just how dumb Kiba really was. Flashback. That was easy, now I can finally show Fasha-chan how strong and skilled I am, and she will have to fall in love with me, Kiba said, heading for the forest where Mizuki told him to meet him, unaware of the consequences that awaited him due to his betrayal. Mizuki-sensei, I brought the scroll. Kiba called out, unaware he was followed by the very woman he was doing all of this for, along with the person who he believed was controlling the woman of his desires, along with two others who were just as furious and very disappointed. That's far enough, Kiba Inuzuka, a voice called out before a kunai hit him and he cried out in pain. Ahhh. Kiba cried out in pain, feeling a kunai impale his hand, making him drop the scroll before he saw Fasha, Naruto, but just as more terrifying, his mother and sister, and they were very pissed off if the growls from their ninja hounds were anything. You are in a lot of trouble, you disgraceful brat, Tsume said, very disappointed in her now disowned kin. Mother, I can explain, Kiba said fearfully before Hana charged him and slashed him across the chest. Ah. Kiba cried out more, holding his fresh wound before his mother attacked him and started beating him to near death. I should kill you right now for what you have done, you filthy traitor, Tsume said in hatred before Kiba felt a seal being slapped on his back and fell to the ground, not realizing it was a paralyzing seal, but also found his chakra gone, meaning that seal was a double layer. Oh Kiba, I always knew you were a disappointment, but this is way over the line even for you. I mean, what made you think this was even a good idea in the first place? Tsume questioned before punching him across the face before he could speak. You know what, we don't want to hear it, Fasha is Naruto's, your little scheme failed, Hana said with pure malice in her voice, making everyone laugh. Well Kiba, I hope you enjoyed being a traitor, because this is seriously going to cost you, especially from what I just heard how outcasts are treated in the Inuzuka clan, Naruto said with a dark smirk, making Kiba whimper. He knew alright it had happened to his father when he tried to betray the clan years ago. Tsume then took something off her back before unrolling it, making Kiba's eyes widen in shock as he violently shook in fear, hoping his mother really wouldn't do that to him. To any Inuzuka, it's a fate worse than death. I, Tsume Inuzuka, hereby declare you a traitor to not only Konoha but to the clan as well. I banish you permanently from the clan, never to return, Tsume said before she unsealed what was inside the scroll, revealing it to be a thick collar made of worn dirty brown leather. Then she strapped it to Kiba's neck and activated it before he started screaming in pain as every ounce of personal info about the clan was painfully erased from his mind before his clan markings changed from red to yellow, showing his exile. Be lucky the Hokage still has use for the likes of you. Akamaru come, Tsume said before Akamaru jumped from Kiba's head, looking over his shoulder before sticking his nose up in the air and walking over to Tsume. Anbu. Tsume called out before a squad of Anbu arrived. Take my former son to the Hokage, he will assign him more punishment, Tsume said with a grin, making him rage. No, this is unfair, Fasha-chan was supposed to see how great I was. I'll get you back for this, you bastard, just you wait. I'm the alpha, something you will never be. Kiba shouted before Anbu started to drag him back to the village before Tsume got an evil idea and called the Anbu to wait a second before Tsume whispered into Hana's ear and grinned. Tsume and Hana then start walking over to Naruto before Tsume grabs his head and kisses him, making him gasp in shock before she shoves her tongue down his throat before she pulls back and licks his cheek. Then Hana grabs his face and does the same thing, making him gasp more, giving her time to shove her tongue down his throat before she pulls back and licks his cheek too. Damn you Naruto, I'll have my revenge for this. Kiba said before the Anbu finally dragged him away, laughing at how humiliating that had to be for him to see. Flashback end. It doesn't matter, because you are going to tell the Hokage to reinstate me as a shinobi, then you are going to tell my mother to take this collar off my neck. Kiba shouted before a trio of women walked by and not so quietly whispered how much of a disgrace he was making him growl. You're right about one thing, I am going to the Hokage, but it is to turn in another D with my team, isn't that right, Tora? Naruto asked with a smile, petting the so-called demon cat, making her purr in Fasha's hands, which Team Saiyan found cute until Kiba saw the cat in Fasha's hands and smiled, believing she caught it. Way to go, Fasha-chan, I see you caught the cat everyone hates, Kiba said, disregarding Naruto once he saw Tora in Fasha's arms and praising her, making her glare at him. Flattery gets you nowhere with me, traitor. Naruto-kun is the one that caught Tora, and guess what, she came to him willingly, isn't that right, Tora-chan? Fasha asked, getting a meow from the kitten before Tora jumped on Naruto's shoulder and started licking him, making him laugh. Okay Tora, I get the message, we will hurry along now, Naruto said, laughing before he heard Tora growl when Kiba approached, while Naruto just sat back before Kiba picked her up and she went she-cat on him, making him scream. Ahhhhh, get this cat off me, someone help. Kiba yelled, running around as Tora had her claws in his face, causing everyone who saw it to laugh at his misfortune. Oh Tora, it's time to go, Fasha said before Tora stopped attacking Kiba and ran to her before jumping in her hands and lying down before she started purring again. Well mutt, that settles that not even a cat can love you. Oh, and for the record, Tsume disowned your ass, so if I were you, I would get used to calling her Lady Tsume from now on mutt, Naruto said as he and Fasha laughed, while Yugao giggled at the disgraceful boy. Hokage's office. We are here old man with one Tora the cat, Naruto said as he presented the cat. Unfortunately for the cat, a plump heavy-set woman got her hands on the cat and started squeezing the life out of her, hugging her. Ma'am, maybe you should try showing a bit of restraint hugging your cat, that way she won't run away from you, Naruto said, taking Tora and gently started petting her before she purred before handing her back to the woman who did what he did, and this time Tora stayed in her arms. Oh thank you, young man, this will be so much better than having her run away, the woman said with a smile before she left. Wow Naruto, you never cease to amaze me, are you trying to gain favors from higher ups? Hiruzen asked, laughing, causing Fasha and Naruto to laugh as well. I told ya I can't help it if I am a nice guy despite my personality, Naruto said, shrugging, causing Hiruzen to laugh more before he got serious and handed the team their next mission. Next is a C-rank mission to escort an actress back to her homeland, Hiruzen said before Iruka handed Team Saiyan the mission scroll and left. Front gate. Soon Naruto and Fasha were outside leaning against the north gate, waiting for the client they were supposed to protect when they saw horses jumping the gate and chasing after a woman. Naruto-kun, do you see that? Fasha asked as Naruto nodded but stayed relaxed. I did, darling. Either they are infiltrators or they are shooting a scene, and this is part of it, Naruto said while Fasha nodded before they saw their sensei. I trust you saw them, right? Yugao asked, getting nods from both of them. We did, why? Were we supposed to go after them? Naruto asked, getting a head shake from Yugao. No, they are actors, and the actress we are to protect was the one playing the part of being chased, Yugao said with a smile before they pushed off the wall before they followed after them. Unknown location. Cut. The director said just as Team Saiyan arrived and they had to say they were impressed with what they saw. I have to say you guys are really good at acting. I can see why the Princess Gale movies are a hit, Naruto said, smiling as the crew smiled back. However, the actress just looked at them with a neutral look. She had black hair pulled back into a ponytail, blue-gray eyes, and an emotionless face that worried Naruto a bit. There was Koyuki Kazuhana, Princess of Snow Country and the only daughter of Susetsu Kazuhana. You know there are other ways to forget your sorrows than drinking, princess, Naruto said, walking up beside her before taking a seat himself and ordering sake. You're a little too young to drink, aren't you? The woman asked as Naruto sipped his sake, and he had to admit it was pretty good. Not really, the village I'm currently from has rules. The minute you put on this headband you're an adult. Strange village, but I suppose it beats crashing in one of the other villages, Naruto said, getting a look from her, but then shrugged. So tell me, why are you really running? I'm willing to listen if you want, Naruto said, setting down his sake to show her he was all ears, so the princess shrugged and told him. One explanation later. So to sum it up, your real name is Koyuki Kazuhana, daughter of Susetsu Kazuhana, who was killed by his own brother, so he could usurp the throne. All of this, well, you were at a young age, so you changed your name to Yuki Fukiz, where you became an actress to escape your past, and your uncle Dodo seems to think you are the key to a great treasure. Naruto asked while the bartender listened with a frown but wouldn't judge as the now revealed Koyuki nodded. Yes, I want nothing to do with the land of snow anymore, it's too painful, Koyuki responded with a frown before she saw Naruto place his hand on her arm before she looked at him. I'm not going to pretend to know what you're going through because frankly, I am in the same boat. My planet was destroyed by a deadly comet wiping out all of my kind, only myself. The woman you saw and 4 others are the last of us, Naruto said before unwrapping his tail from his waist, showing her, making her and the bartender gasp. See, me and Fasha are not from here. Like I said, the planet I am from was struck by a comet killing everyone including my parents, so there are only a few of us left out there, Naruto said, making her frown before he got up and paid for the drink, confusing her. I am not going to drag you back to some place that brings nothing but bad memories for you, just remember that if you don't, then people will continue to suffer under his rule, Naruto said, making her frown more before he left. With Team Saiyan and film crew. So let me get this straight, boy, you saw the princess in the bar, talking to her, then just left without bringing her? An old man asked, gripping Naruto's shoulders. This was Sandaka-sama, assistant to the actress princess. He has short gray hair with a beard and mustache. Sanday, you might want to release him before, Yugao tried to say before she ducked as the poor fool was sent flying from Naruto's tail, making the film crew look at him in shock. That happens to you, Yugao finished, shaking her head in amusement. You would do well not to put your hands on me, worm. Remember, you are the ones that asked for our help, but you will do well not to forget Koyuki had a very traumatic experience as a child, so I will not make things worse by forcing her to return to a place that brings nothing but bad memories for her, Naruto said with a frown, making them look away, knowing he was right. Which is why I am going back and reclaiming my birthright from my uncle, Koyuki said, walking up to them, making everyone gasp in shock, but then smiling. I would ask what changed your mind, but I think I already know, Fasha said looking at her boyfriend who was now sitting down working on something most likely finishing his anti-curse seal for Anko, before hearing him shout excitedly. Eureka, I finally finished IT. Naruto shouted jumping for joy before he looked at their amused faces before he blushed in embarrassment while Yugao, Fasha, and Koyuki laughed at his excitement. So you completed the seal that will free her from Orochimaru? Yugao asked but frowned when he shook his head. No, but I did modify it and managed to replace the soul with a portion of my power, Naruto said with a smile causing Fasha and Yugao's eyes to widen. How? Jiraiya said he couldn't do anything with it, Yugao said before she saw his and Fasha's pissed off look. That pervert from what Anko told us didn't even try all that hard, Fasha said in anger before her hair went gold for a split second, then stayed black, making Yugao look at her. So is your people's legend coming true? Yugao asked getting a raised brow from both of her students, Fasha's hair almost turned gold, Yugao said, getting wide looks from the two before smiling. If we push hard enough we might, however, it needs to be triggered by something. It is said rage is the key, but I don't want my first transformation to be one with rage, Fasha said with a frown before Naruto hugged her. Don't worry darling, when we transform at last it won't be because of rage, Naruto said, unaware of how very wrong he would be later on before the crew and Team Saiyan headed into port to take a ship to Snow Country. Port. Soon the ship that would take them to Snow arrived where Naruto let the ladies on first before getting on last as the ship set sail. Naruto and Fasha's cabin. Oh, Naruto-kun, you really are good at this, a topless Fasha moaned out as her boyfriend was rubbing her back and shoulders. Oh man Fasha, you sure are stiff, Naruto said, loosening up a particularly hard knot in her back and making her moan louder as a passing Koyuki blushed madly thinking those two were having sex and she had to admit she was a bit jealous of the woman. Oh Naruto, get it in there nice and deep, Fasha said with a hidden smirk, feeling an energy signature from the other side of the door, moaning a bit louder. Outside. Koyuki, who had a small blush before, was now red as a tomato and having a slight nosebleed from all of the female Saiyan's lewd sounds, or so she thought before the ship shook, causing her to lose her balance before she ran up to the deck to see why they stopped, missing Fasha's smirk as she opened the door to follow with Naruto not too far behind. Topside. What's the problem? Did we hit something? Naruto asked as he and Fasha, now back in her armor, ran on deck only to see a giant ice wall blocking their way and missing Koyuki's blush and Yugao's grin. No, we just have an ice wall blocking us, Sandeyu said with a frown before Naruto held out his hand. Want me to knock it down? Naruto asked as he ready to Kai blast about to blast the ice before Yugao placed her hand on his shoulder stopping him. Not unless you want to take us all out when it collapses, Naruto-kun, Yugao said with a smile before he looked at the ice again and diminished the attack, knowing she had a point the wave would overturn their ship, possibly killing them all. We will shoot here. The director shouted in joy, confusing them, but Naruto just shrugged before he walked to the side of the ship and leaned on the railing, before Fasha walked over to him and leaned into his chest, while Naruto wrapped his arms around her midsection as they watched. 5 minutes into the shoot. I can't believe she has to use eye drops to cry, Fasha said disappointed while Naruto just watched. Let's just say Koyuki has had a difficult past dating back to when she was a child, Naruto said, causing Fasha to frown. 20 minutes later. Cut. Good job, that's a wrap until we hit land, then we start filming the next scene, the director said as everyone took a break to get ready for the next scene, while Koyuki constantly kept glancing over at Naruto and Fasha and blushing, while Fasha smirked and Naruto looked confused. I blame you for moaning so loud, now she probably thinks we were having sex, Naruto said then looked at her in a deadpan tone of voice. That was your idea from the start, wasn't it, Naruto said, groaning a sigh while Fasha grinned and nodded like a Cheshire cat, making Naruto sigh more before he grinned. Two can play that game, Naruto thought before he brought his hands up and started cupping and massaging her breasts as she gasped and started moaning when he grabbed her breasts. Oh, Naruto-kun, what are you doing? Fasha asked as she moaned before it got louder as she had her breast squeezed only to gasp again as her Naruto-kun stroked her tail and she moaned harder and fell to the ground after Naruto released her panting with her face all red. Remember Fasha, my darling, two can always play that game, Naruto chuckled looking down at her causing Koyuki to laugh while Fasha looked up at them with a tired glare before she got up on wobbly legs before she made her way to their cabin with a limp in her step. Well, that's a wrap now to get past this ice wall and make our way to Snow, Sandeyu said before Naruto grew annoyed and made an energy sword with his right hand before flying at the wall and cutting it into harmless pieces. There, now we can proceed, Naruto said, annoyed as he flew back and landed on the deck as the ship sailed its way to Snow Country. 3 days later. Attention everyone, we have made it to Snow Country, the captain of the ship said over the PA system as everyone woke up to see the snow-frozen country. Well, this is pleasant, Naruto said with a heavy amount of sarcasm, while Fasha looked even more annoyed until Koyuki spoke up. Well, my father did say there would one day be spring, but it hasn't happened, Koyuki said, frowning before they started walking. 10 minutes later. 10 minutes into walking, Naruto stopped, sensing energy signatures coming in fast, making Yugao stop as well. What the matter, Naruto-kun? Yugao asked, seeing he had stopped but went on guard when she heard Naruto's next words. Something is fast approaching, Naruto said before his eyes widened and shouted for everyone to move out of the way, which they did as Fasha took flight with Koyuki in hand. Soon a train passed by before stopping before the doors opened and a bunch of snow ninjas ran out and began running for the camera crew. Oh no you don't, Naruto and Fasha said before they crossed their fingers and flared their kai. Shadow clone jutsu, Naruto and Fasha called out before they each made 40 clones and attacked the ninja before Naruto saw a pink-haired woman pass Koyuki something before they retreated, seeing they were outnumbered and the train left before they set off again. But Naruto and Koyuki. So who was that girl? She a friend of yours? Naruto asked before Koyuki blushed a little before she showed him what the woman sent her and upon looking at the contents blushed a bit as he saw the same pink-haired woman, only this time she was in a sexy naked pose, showing she was something to Koyuki. She's my girlfriend Fubuki Kakyoku, Koyuki said with a fond smile but frowned when she decided to act as a mole. I take it Dodo doesn't know he has a spy in his camp then? Naruto asked as Koyuki shook her head. No he doesn't, and that is what worries me. If he finds out he will not hesitate to kill her, Koyuki said in a scared tone before Naruto placed his hand on her shoulder and gave her a bright smile that made her heart skip a beat. Well then, first chance I get I am going to liberate her from your uncle, Naruto said before she hugged him, causing him to return the hug, while unknown to them Fasha and Yugao looked at the two smiling. Thank you Naruto-kun, you're very kind, and who knows, perhaps if you play your cards right you can have us both before you leave, Koyuki said grinning before she walked with the film crew swaying her hips for him. No really, am I under someone's control? Cause it seems like every time I meet a lady she wants me, Naruto said confused, scratching his head, making Fasha and Yugao laugh hearing this. Well, look at it this way, Naruto-kun, Anko will definitely be all over you when she hears you completed your seal to replace the one her disgraceful sensei gave her, as well as willingly be your first candidate to test your Saiyan conversion machine, Fasha said with a smile, confusing Yugao. Saiyan conversion machine? You mean you found a way to alter a person's DNA to be like a Saiyan's? Yugao asked, getting a nod from him. Yes, however it's only a prototype, but if it works I can start construction on the actual machine, Naruto said smiling. Will it hurt? Yugao asked since Anko was her friend and she didn't want to see her friend hurt as Naruto shook his head. Nah, it will be painless, except for the fact you might need a change of clothes after, Naruto said before Yugao grinned, making him nervous. You just want to see her naked, don't you? Yugao asked, then giggled seeing Naruto's flushed face. That statement is untrue. Her body might go through a change to adjust to the change, and as such her clothing might rip off her, Naruto said, trying to shake off his blush. Whatever you say Naruto-kun, Yugao said walking past him with a sway in her hips before she stopped and did what she never thought she would ever do to anyone. She hooked her thumbs in the waistband of her pants and flashed Naruto her bare ass, showing she was wearing a purple thong, making Naruto's jaw drop as his eyes got so wide they almost popped out of their sockets, and Yugao giggled, seeing the success of her actions, before she pulled up her pants again and walked off. I don't know how I let you talk me into having a harem, darling, Naruto said, groaning, causing Fasha to giggle more. But cheer up Naruto-kun, you are the last male of our race you know, Fasha said smirking, getting a look from Naruto. You know I am not the last of our kind, we still have Raditz, Kakarot and Vegeta, Naruto said, intentionally forgetting about Nappa, making Fasha shake her head in amusement before they caught up with the film crew, before they were again attacked by the same woman as before, accompanied by two others in strange armor. Well, if it isn't the two freaks that stopped our first assault, a man said with long purple hair and a ponytail with two dots on his brow, green eyes, a purple short streak going down his eyes, and a Hapuri-style forehead protector that frames his face. This was Naruto. If I were you I would run back to your master and tell him to surrender now, or things are going to get ugly, Naruto said with a smirk, hoping to get under his skin. Unfortunately things didn't go as he had hoped before he heard a scream before he saw an airship taking off with Koyuki on it. Okay, now I am irritated, Naruto said as he saw a brute of a man holding Koyuki hostage. Said man had a short crop of purple hair and dark eyes. This was Mr. Fuyakuma, while Natter jumped in front of Naruto. I am Natter Roga and I shall be your opponent, Roga said arrogantly, activating his armor, thinking it would help him only to cough up blood, finding Naruto's hand through his armored chest. Fool, that armor might have helped you if I was using chakra, Naruto said, having an idea what that armor did, but wouldn't let that stop him before his arm that was through the armor came to life. Lightning style lightning dragon fist, Naruto called out, spiking his kai as Roga screamed in pain as the armor exploded, killing him. Nice job Naruto-kun, but they have the princess, Yugao said only for Naruto to smirk and burst into smoke, showing he was a clone this whole time, making their eyes widen except Fasha's. Hassle. Soon Koyuki was dragged off the ship as the other two began walking to the throne room, while the woman Fubuki discreetly stole glances at the crystal Koyuki wore before smirking, getting a smirk back from Koyuki, seeing that she also knew it was a fake as well. Throne room. Lord Dodo, we have brought your niece, the treasure is well within your grasp. Mizur bowed before Fubuki took the crystal around Koyuki's neck and whispered a sorry to her and the transformed Naruto before tossing it to Dodo. Finally, at long last, the treasure will be mine, Dodo said, laughing maniacally as he grabbed his niece and left missing Koyuki and Fubuki's hidden smirks. Unknown location. At last the treasure is mine, Dodo said, taking the crystal that was handed to him and inserting it only for it not to do anything, causing Dodo to frown. What's wrong? Why isn't it working? Dodo asked, taking the crystal and inspecting it before an eye looked at him, freaking him out and tossing the crystal, which transforms into Naruto. Surprise. Naruto said as he kicked Dodo, sending him flying before he cut Koyuki's bonds as she ran to him. Thanks for saving me Naruto, Koyuki said with a smile on her face before they heard a loud shout before he saw the brute Mizur being killed by Fubuki, pissing off Dodo, seeing he was betrayed. Fubuki, what is the meaning of this? Dodo yelled in anger. Isn't it obvious, you fool? She was a spy the entire time, feeding the rebels information, Naruto said with a smirk, angering him further before he prepared a jutsu to kill Fubuki before Naruto got in its way and cut it down, shocking Dodo before Naruto looked out of the corner of his eye as the film crew arrived and decided to put on a show for them and only hoped they were filming. That's far enough, villain, there is no hope of winning, Naruto said, charging Dodo and tearing apart his armor with the use of well-placed Kai blasts. Koyuki-chan, come over here, Naruto said as Koyuki blushed when he added Chan to her name until she stood next to him before he whispered into her ear and she smirked, liking the idea very much and started walking to her downed uncle, shaking her ass for him as she did. Naruto, what did you ask her to do? Fubuki asked before Naruto smirked and just pointed at the show that was about to happen before Fubuki had a huge smile and a bit of a blush at what happened next. Uncle Dodo, for your crimes against Snow Country, I am going to slap some sense into you. Koyuki roared before she started slapping him, which caused Naruto, Fubuki, the film crew, along with Fasha and Yugao, who had just arrived, to fall to the ground laughing as Dodo was literally being bitch slapped by his niece. Minutes later. Naruto-kun, don't you think you should stop her? Yugao said, watching Koyuki slapping her uncle left and right. Well, I suppose it's only fair, Naruto said, chuckling, making his way to her and placing his hand on her shoulder. Okay Koyuki-chan, I think he has had enough, Naruto said before looking at the downed Dodo with many handprints on his face from Koyuki's slaps. Oh, alright, I'll stop now. By the way, what is this treasure anyway? Koyuki said, looking at the altar with the keyhole before she took out the real crystal that Fubuki gave her and inserted it before the land started to warm up, surprising them all. It's a heat generator, Koyuki said, shocked before smiling, recalling her father's words that one day spring would come. At night. Wonder what Koyuki wanted to talk to us about? Naruto asked Fasha with his hand wrapped around her waist as they made their way to her new office. Who knows, Naruto-kun, but it must be something important, Fasha said before they arrived at Koyuki's office, where upon entering they found the new daimyo in a heavy makeout session with Fubuki, while Koyuki's hands were grabbing her panty-clad cheeks as her pants were down to her ankles, making her moan hotly before they heard a throat being cleared before they stopped to look at them, smiling. Ah, Naruto-kun, Fasha-chan, so glad you could make it. I have something I would like to show you, especially you Naruto-kun, Koyuki said before she and Fubuki got dressed and led them to her private theater. Once in the quiet theater, they were escorted to the section for VIP-only members, where the big screen lit up showing a movie as Naruto and Fasha watched. However, Naruto was left speechless at what he saw. That's my unpublished novel, Naruto thought, completely shocked until Koyuki handed him the script. Forgive me Naruto-kun, but I saw your work on your desk when I was looking for you the other day, Koyuki said with a bit of shame that she snooped around before he held her cheek with a gentle smile. I don't mind and I am glad you liked what was written, Naruto said, making her smile and then blush as he was still cupping her cheek before she nodded. I agree and I enjoy how the female character was written as well as how you handled her transformation, Fasha said with a smile, getting one from Koyuki before she turned to Naruto. Naruto-kun, with your permission I would like to ask the studio to publish this fine work instead of that piece of trash I was presented with, Koyuki said with disdain, making him raise an eyebrow along with Fasha until she showed them scripted of another movie and safe to say they were pissed. Yuki-chan, you have my full authority to do just that if that other movie makes you uncomfortable, Naruto said before she rapidly nodded, though she blushed red when he called her Yuki-chan. Thank you Naruto-kun, to be honest, I don't feel comfortable showing off my naked body to other people, Koyuki said with Naruto and Fasha nodding before Naruto grinned, making Koyuki nervous. Oh, so you feel uncomfortable showing your naked body to the public, but you don't have a problem being caught in your underwear kissing your girlfriend by me or Fasha-chan. For shame, Miss Kazuhana, for shame, Naruto teased, then laughed along with Fasha, seeing her bright red face. What if we did it cause we knew you would be coming? Fubuki asked, knowing Koyuki asked for them alone, so she knew they would have nothing to worry about. They then looked at Naruto's eyes and smiled and knew they were in for it now and were fully prepared, or so they thought. Well then, I hope you are prepared to not leave your chambers for the rest of the night, Naruto said with a predatory look in his eyes before he threw Koyuki and Fubuki over his shoulder cavewoman style, making them squeal and vanish to her chambers with Fasha not too far behind, where for the rest of the night there was nothing but grunts, moans, and shrieks of joy and pleasure. A few days later. I so do wish you two could stay longer, Koyuki said with a sad smile, as she and Fubuki were holding themselves up still due to a few nights ago of some very pleasurable fun. As much as we would love to, the old man is probably driving himself crazy, Naruto with his sensei in his arms, said laughing before they started hovering off the ground. By the way, if you need us, use this, Fasha said, handing her a scouter that only functioned as a two-way communicator. Thank you Naruto-kun, Fasha-chan, we will see you later, Fubuki said while Koyuki smiled before they blasted off into the air and made their way back to the village. 2 hours later. Finally made it back, Fasha said with a smile as they landed before Yugao signed them in as they made their way to the Hokage's office. Hokage's office. Once Team Saiyan made their way to the office, they stopped as Naruto and Fasha heard a voice that made them frown. That is why I want you to give them to me so that I can put some controls on them. Their power is too great to be anywhere but here, Danzo said, trying to convince Hiruzen to see reason before the door was kicked open, startling the two. We would have thought you would have given up by now, mummy, Naruto said, before glaring at the one-eyed man along with Fasha. Listening into people's conversations that you have no right hearing. Have you no shame? Danzo asked, glaring at the two with his good eye. When are you going to get it into your head we can't and won't be controlled, least of all by the likes of you, Fasha said with a smug smile, causing Danzo to grip his cane tighter. If only I hadn't wasted Kotomatsukami on these two, I could have used it on the old fool. They seemed to listen to him, but no, I had to go and use it on two minds that seemed to resist, and now I must wait 10 years to use it again, Danzo thought in anger. Regardless, I am still an elder of this village, and I say you two should only use your powers for protecting this village, Danzo said in a smug tone that made the two Saiyans sneer. Oh well, if that is how you feel, maybe Naruto-kun and I will leave this planet and let you fend for yourselves, Fasha said with a cruel smile, getting a shocked look from Danzo until Hiruzen leveled the room with his kai, killing intent. Anbu? Hiruzen shouted as Anbu appeared in the room awaiting orders. Take Danzo here to his home, he is now under house arrest until further notice, Hiruzen said firmly before Danzo was escorted out of the office with a pissed off look on his face, not that anyone cared. Now then, how did your mission go? Hiruzen asked while smiling at the two. Well, aside from it being bumped to an A rank mission, not bad, Fasha said, causing Hiruzen to frown at that, so they told him what all the mission was about minus the sex. One explanation later. I see, so Yuki was really Koyuki Kazuhana princess and now daimyo of the land of snow now called spring, Hiruzen said, making them nod and were about to say more until a ninja hound poofed into the office. Kakashi sends word from the land of waves, a ninja dog in a blue coat named Pakin said before puffing away, missing the two Saiyans in the room as Hiruzen read the letter before sighing. What's the trouble, Hiruzen? Naruto asked before he was handed the letter and upon reading it blasted the room with his aura, bringing everyone down to their knees and unknowingly killing another faceless Anbu that shouldn't be there. I am seriously getting tired of that brat. You know, I haven't gotten a chance to meet any other Uchiha except Mikoto, but it seems the Uchiha are becoming a huge problem, or at least Sasuke is, Naruto said, annoyed before lowering his power, so at least the rest of the room could breathe. Yes, well, Team Saiyan, I am sending you to Wave to back up Team 7, Hiruzen said, but was interrupted by the opened window and the absence of Team Saiyan. I didn't even get a chance to tell them which direction Wave was in, Hiruzen said laughing, causing his hidden Anbu to chuckle before he looked out the window, and to his amusement, he saw Naruto flying in reverse back to his office. Did you forget a map to Wave? Hiruzen asked with a chuckle. No, I forgot the map to Wave, Naruto said before he took the map and met up with Fasha, who had a hold of their teacher, before they flew off to Wave at top speed. 30 minutes later. Soon Naruto and Fasha with Yugao in her arms landed and immediately frowned at the state Wave was in. Wow, and I thought Planet Slime was bad, but this is worse, Naruto said, frowning more until they saw a woman with long blue hair, a soft face, and black coal eyes. This was Tsunami, daughter to the bridge builder Tazuna, being harassed. "Oh come on sweetheart, you know you want to," a thug said before a loud bang rang out and the thug dropped down dead before the woman saw Naruto with his finger extended, showing he was the one that killed the thug. "That's no way to treat a woman," Naruto said with a scowl on his face at the now dead thug. "Oh, and you know all about pleasing a woman, wouldn't you, Naruto-kun?" Fasha asked, giggling as the woman blushed. "Well, I didn't hear you complaining when you, Koyuki and Fubuki were screaming my name back in the now called Land of Spring," Naruto said, smirking, causing the woman's face to burn more and Fasha to giggle before she got serious. "Anyway, before we make this poor woman pass out, I think we should start looking for Team 7, Naruto said, causing the woman to widen her eyes. "Did you say Team 7? The woman asked, causing them to nod, then looked at her wondering how they knew the team, but judging from her hard look, she wasn't pleased to know them. "Judging by your pissed off look, you are familiar with a certain duck butt," Naruto said, causing the woman to hold her mouth with her hand and giggled. "Yes, and I have to say if he were my son I would have smacked him for his attitude. The name is Tsunami by the way," Tsunami said with a smile as she led them to where Team 7 was staying. "So Tsunami-san, why is Wave in such a devastating state?" Fasha asked while Naruto and Yuga were looking around at the horrible shape the town was in. One explanation later. "So this Gato guy has made this country so bad that your father is building a bridge so they will no longer be in his death grip," Naruto said before he sensed someone come up behind him and try to rob him until he turned around and saw a child probably look no older than 10 that looked so skinny that she could blow away with the wind before he grinned. "Oh my, I seem to have misplaced my bag full of food. I do so hope nobody comes to rob me, certainly not a child who will no doubt share it with those in need of food," Naruto said and grinned before he made a show of him accidentally dropping his pack full of food as the girl took it with a small smile and ran off with it before Naruto stopped acting and looked at the retreating child with a gentle smile while the ladies looked at him with smiles on their faces. "That was a noble sacrifice, Naruto, but what about you?" Tsunami asked with a smile and his gesture of kindness that had to be all of his food. "Oh don't worry, I am sure Naruto-kun didn't give them everything," Fasha said, only for Naruto to shake his head. "No, that was every bit of food I had darling, everything I had to eat was in that pack, but the kid really looked like she needed it," Naruto said, shocking his mate and sensei at his selflessness as Tsunami widened her eyes. "That was every bit of food he brought with him. He gave it all up to someone more needy. Just who is this man who is willing to sacrifice his own food for someone he doesn't even know?" Tsunami thought before she led the team to her house. Azuna's place. "Father, I am back and I brought backup," Tsunami said as her father and the rest of Team 7 looked to see who was with her, only for the only woman of the group to widen her eyes and run to them once she saw who it was. "Naruto-kun, Fasha-chan." Sakura cried out as she crashed into them, bringing them into a hug as they took a small step back and wrapped their arms around her as well, who now had her hair in a high ponytail. "Hello, Sakura-chan, how have you been?" Fasha asked while Naruto hit a button on his scouter which started scanning her. "I have been good, though you were right about Todashi," Sakura said, then giggled at the nickname she gave her sensei, making him fall over while Tsunami and the old man whom Naruto, Fasha and Yuga figured was Tazuna laughed at the man. "What are you doing here, loser? We don't need your help, so pack up and leave," Sasuke said with a sneer before Fasha fired a Kai blast from her finger which sailed as Sasuke and grazed his cheek, making him widen his eyes and looked at her in something he hadn't felt in a very long time, fear. "Silence, you brainless buffin, we were called here thanks to this little dog," Fasha said, fed up with this brat. "Ah, so Lord Hokage got my summon, did he?" Kakashi asked as Sasuke glared at him in hatred that he went behind his back. "So that's what a summon looks like. I have to admit they are cute," Naruto said with a smile while everyone gawked at him. "Oh grow up, I am allowed to enjoy cute things too," Naruto said with a pout, causing the room to erupt into a fit of laughter and giggles before he saw a pasty-looking kid. "What is your true mission, kid?" Naruto asked, only for the kid to remain silent and just show him his tongue before Kakashi scolded him. "Now Sai, that's not very nice," Kakashi said, only for Naruto to stop him. "No Kakashi, that's the response I was hoping for from someone en route," Naruto said with a frown, only for Kakashi to widen his eyes and then glare at Sai. "Would you like it removed?" Naruto asked, making Sai's eyes widen. "You can do that?" Sai asked as Naruto nodded. "Sure, it shouldn't be too hard, I mean I did crack Anko's seal, fact I was going to call her to get a certain snake soul removed from it until Hiruzen got a letter saying that this dumbus did something stupid like he always does," Naruto said as everyone glared at Sasuke, making him huff in annoyance before Sai showed him the seal. "So 3 straight lines followed by 2 broken lines, huh, this is going to be a bit of a challenge," Naruto thought with a smile. "So based on what Tsunami told me on the way here, what have you all faced since you got here?" Yugao asked before Kakashi told him. One explanation later. "So you faced 2 B-ranked missing ninjas and an A-ranked who is one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist, huh?" Naruto asked, going over everything he was told in his mind. Fasha-chan, Yuga-sensei, how do you two feel about a second A-ranked mission? Naruto asked, getting wide eyes from Sakura, Sai, and Kakashi, who heard they already had an A-ranked mission, while Sasuke scoffed. Oh please loser, you haven't been on an A-ranked gen and can't get an A-ranked, Sasuke said before he was bound to the wall by energy cuffs again, but this time Fasha was the one to do it. It was a C upgraded to an A, you snot-nosed brat, Fasha said with a sneer, making him glare back and activate his eyes, and tried to put her in a genjutsu to make her submit to him, only for it not to work, surprising him, making them smirk. Surprise brat, Danzo tried the same thing only for it not to work either, Fasha said in an I am superior to you tone, pissing him off more. By the way, Sakura, you're really strong. My scouter told me you've been training a lot, but tell me, how far have you gotten? Have you gotten to tree climbing or water walking yet? Naruto asked, only for her to shake her head, causing them to glare at Kakashi with malice. When this mission is over, I am talking to Hiruzen about disbanding Team 7 after the Chunin exams, and he will mostly likely demote your sorry ass to a genin where you are at least competent, Naruto said in a tone so cold Kakashi could swear he saw the Shinigami, making him bow his head in shame. Come Sakura, it is time I showed you how to climb a tree with just your chakra, Naruto said as he headed for the door with Sakura not far behind him, with Fasha and Yuga rubbing their legs together. The way Naruto spoke to Kakashi, it was so dominating. Outside. Okay, Sakura, the first step is to regulate your control too much chakra and you will be blown off too little and you will slide off, got it? Naruto asked with a smile as Sakura blushed and nodded. Use this to mark your progress, Naruto said as he tossed a kunai at her feet, making her nod. Oh, and don't worry, I'll be right here if you fall, Naruto said, standing behind her, making her blush more. You're just there to stare at my ass, Sakura said, teasing him before she moaned as Naruto swatted her ass. Well, it is a nice fine looking ass, Naruto teased back, making her blush more before she started running at the tree before she was blown off before she marked it, and just as Naruto said he was there to catch her. You used too much, try again, Naruto said with a smile, making her nod as he put her down before running up the try where she used a little less. 2 tries later. Bad, I made it. Sakura shouted as she sat on a branch, cheering before Naruto flew up to the branch she was on and smiled. Way to go Sakura, you did very well, Naruto said before he widened his eyes as Sakura jumped at him before pulling him into a lip lock in her excitement. It's all thanks to you, Naruto-kun, Sakura said after breaking the kiss with a bright smile, making him grin before he flew them back to the house and landed. Inside. That didn't last long, I take it she passed? Kakashi asked, making him grin. Did you expect anything less than I was offering her, Tardashi? Naruto asked, then chuckled as everyone laughed at his nickname, causing him to hang his head. Next morning, the bridge. So why are we here again, Naruto-kun? Fasha asked her mate who was overseeing the bridge's construction. Well, Kakashi seems to think that this abuser they fought is alive, and I am inclined to agree. Besides, if someone as strong as him could give Kakashi a rough time, he must be worth a challenge, Naruto said with a smile as Fasha shook her head, smirking. Just like Vegeta, she said, earning herself a playful side glare before mist rolled in as abuser and someone in a hunter's mask was with him. Well, this is a surprise, I wasn't expecting backup, a man in bandages said. I take it you're this abuser Kakashi had a rough time with? Naruto asked as the now known Zabuza nodded. I am, but tell me, how do you know? Zabuza asked curiously, only for Naruto to hold up a black book, making him laugh along with Fasha. You stole his bingo book. Clever, Zabuza said, clapping in approval. Indeed, he should be finding out in 3, 2, 1, Naruto said, counting down before hearing an enraged shout. Azuna's place. Naruto. Kakashi shouted out as loud as he could, making everyone fall over and laugh. The bridge. Well, that didn't take long, Naruto said, laughing before his hand ignited into an energy sword due to his Kai stunning Zabuza. Then guard my good man, Naruto said while Zabuza smirked and readied his blade before their clash began. 10 minutes later. So tell me, Zabuza, what's a cool dude like you doing as a rogue? Naruto asked, deflecting another sword strike as they each suffered minor wounds from the other, but if you looked closer, you could tell they were having fun. Well, it starts like this, Zabuza said as he began his story while Naruto listened while they fought. One explanation later. Wow, that's heavy, man, so your cage all of a sudden changed from a good leader to one who wants to kill bloodlines? Naruto asked, getting a nod from him. It sounds like genjutsu to me, man. Does he have something in him that would cause this? Naruto asked. Yes, he is Jinchuriki of the Three Tails, Zabuza said as Naruto went into thinking mode, trying to remember where he heard that word before, but shrugged when he couldn't recall. Well, it seems like someone is controlling this beast in him. You would have to be pretty gutsy to take control of a cage, Naruto said, getting Zabuza to agree until they heard an annoying laugh before the mist cleared and they saw a pudgy little man with a bunch of thugs behind him. Zabuza, what are you doing? Hurry up and kill him, or did you forget who you work for? The little man asked, making Naruto look at him with a sweat drop. This is the man people are afraid of. Even Nappa's Cybermen are taller than this guy, Naruto said, getting laughs from Team 7, Fasha, Yugao, and Kakashi, who just arrived, confusion from Zabuza and the now unmasked person, showing the face of a woman, and anger from the pudgy man. Yep, that's Gato, Zabuza said, trying not to laugh. Least I don't look like some freak, Gato shouted with a red face, causing Naruto to look at him boredly. That's the best insult you can come up with. My mate could come up with better, Mr. Pudgy, Naruto said with a smirk, causing those around him to laugh. That's it, kill them all and bring the women to me, I'm sure I can sell them as slaves. Gato shouted, unknowingly signing his death warrant. Zabuza, Mr. Pudgy is all yours, I'll take care of the thugs, Naruto said with a savage grin before energy burst to life with each element on his 5 fingers. Here is a new technique, boys, sorry if it is a bit messy, Naruto said, pulling his arm back. Elemental style 5-finger strike. Naruto shouted and thrust his hand forward and pierced 5 thugs at once, ripping them to pieces as soon as the attack hit before he jumped into the fray and started tearing them apart, stunning the others. Sakura-san, who is that? The woman she, Sasuke and Sai were fighting against asked. She had long black hair, pink lipstick and a soft face. This was Hakuyuki, the last of the ice users. One hell of a man, Sakura said with a huge blush on her face and a dreamy smile as he slaughtered the thugs like they were nothing to him, all the while discreetly rubbing her legs together, or so she thought. She was being discreet, unknown to her she was being watched by Fasha. His name is Naruto, and believe it or not, he and I are not human, even though we look like one, Fasha said, watching her mate plow through the thugs like paper. A few moments later. Soon Naruto finished his dance of death before turning his sights to Gato, who backed up in fear until he hit something before he looked up and saw Zabuza grinning down at him before he screamed as Zabuza decapitated him like he was nothing. 5 days later. You really did a good job, Tazuna, the bridge looks amazing, Naruto and Fasha said. Well, it is all thanks to you too, Tazuna said, grinning before they saw Tsunami run to them and she looked frantic. Naruto-kun, your scouter started beeping. I swear I didn't even touch it, Tsunami said, unaware she added kun to the end of his name. It's okay, Tsunami, you did nothing wrong, that's the sound it makes when I get a transmission, Naruto said as he put the scouter on to listen to what was said and he froze before pulling it off. Fasha-chan, we need to get to Earth now. Apparently there was another Saiyan than just me, you, Vegeta, Raditz, and that brainless oaf Nappa named Turles, and he just killed Kakarot, Naruto said, making her face harden before she grabbed Sakura, who let out a squeal, and Naruto grabbed their sensei as they shot off into the air back to the village, leaving the rest of Team 7 to walk back after Tazuna told them the bridge would be named the Great Naruto Bridge. 30 minutes later. Soon Naruto and Fasha landed and set the girls down so Yugao could sign them in as Naruto and Fasha raced to the forest and to their ships before they opened their pods and jumped in and took off into space. Computer set course for planet Earth, top speed, Naruto said as the computer calculated the time. Estimated arrival at top speed 10 days, the computer said as they headed for Earth. What if Naruto Saiyan Harem Dragon Ball end here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.